No, not Mr. Yeah, Mr. Further.
The movie.
No, the
show?
one on Netflix is like a new,
Isn't that like the Sean Penn movie though? The Clint
Sean
Eastwood
Penn
movie?
is Mystic. I believe that's Mystic River.
Yeah.
That's Sean Penn.
It goes by a different name.
Mist River or something like that.
Some Virgin
It's
River.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen it.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Silver Screen Addicts. I'm your host Dylan, and I'm joined today by my two guests. To my immediate left is Christian. What's up, Christian?
How you doing?
Hey, and to my right is Adam. What's up, Adam?
What's going on, D?
So one thing, right off the bat that the three of us have in common is we're all fans of the show, The Boys. And it's now it's going to be in its fourth season, but the third season just ended last month. And I just want to do like a quick recap with you guys, just talking about the finale and everything we thought. And, I also just want to give a few quick words on The Boys too. Like, for the most part, I'm a movie guy. That's my whole angle, like my YouTube channel and everything. Like, I'm all about movies. I love old movies. I love horror movies. Like, that's my main thing. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And for the most part, every so often, there's a show that captivates me the same way a movie would, just in terms of the writing, the directing, the music, the acting. I mean, absolutely. So, I got to say, The Boys is a prime example, excuse the pun, but it's a prime example of that. And I'll never forget my experience watching it the first time. Like, I was really skeptical because, like I said, I'm a movie guy. Not really big on the superhero stuff. Like, ever since Disney bought them out, like Marvel, I felt it's a little bit played out. But that's just me. But, I gave it a chance. And by the first episode, I was hooked. Like it's one of those things. Like, the pilot episode hooks you, and you just want to know what happens yet. And I thought in the beginning that it was just going to be like a gore fest, like it's going to be like a knockoff of Marvel, but
like an HBO series,
like really gory, like zombie shit, like
yeah.
not zombie, but like gory in the same regard. But there's actually a lot of depth to it. Also, it gives you like a ton to reflect on. Great acting. Homelander is one of the best on-screen villains I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, because we've talked about because you hate him and you like him at the same time. Like, there's times when you're like, this guy's a dick, and then there's other times where you're like, like, I feel bad for this guy. Like, all he wants is his family and stuff, and he just keeps getting kicked.
And that opens up.
That's what's crazy about him is that's what's the most terrifying part about it, because he just goes. It's like a light switch.
Well, he's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
He's a loose cannon.
Well, you know what it is? He's a good villain because any good villain does not believe they're a villain. Like, he thinks he's the good guy. Like, he's the good guy. He's not a bad guy. You know what I mean?
And a whole other aspect too is how many people do you know in real life who are like that? Like, people who are narcissists.
And they
people
just don't
who
even
think
know it.
they don't realize it, and they make up their own rules as they go along. And Homelander is a great example. Like, he makes up his own list of principles that only he's aware of, and everyone else has to abide by them. But one thing I could guarantee to anybody watching this for the first time, you will not have the same opinion of the show by the last episode of the first season that you did the first episode.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, like every character, there's not one character that's not fleshed out by the end, and it evolves. Like, you think in the beginning that Huey is the main character, but you realize that people like Butcher becomes more pivotal,
Butcher's
like
the
towards
man,
the end, and everybody like has a lot of depth to them. So, I that's just my whole.
I forget which one. It was one of my boys. Before I ever saw the show, he was telling me about the show, and when he was explaining it to me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this kind of sounds silly. Like, this sounds stupid. But like you said, I watched the first episode, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is great. I kept. It's one of those shows, like you said, like a good movie where you'll watch a good movie over and over. The show, like, you get hooked. You'll watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes in a row.
Yeah,
just bang them out.
And it really and. Not only that, but also like any good movie, you go back and you watch it again and you pick up on new things. Like, that's how good the continuity is.
A
and
good
just
movie's
everything.
good the second time you watch it.
Exactly.
Like you said, you pick up on
sometimes
stuff
it gets
where
better.
It's like, oh, that's why
it took
he
me
did
such
that.
a long time to watch the show.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, no, I
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, all right, it's like. Because Netflix had Jupiter's Ascending or something like that.
Oh, yo, I didn't mind that. I kind of liked it. I thought it was all right.
But what was funny about it is because when I watch shows like The Boys and Jupiter's Ascending and all that stuff, I like to go back and look at the comics and actually see what the original storyline is.
Yeah.
And how they differ.
Yo. See, I'll go on YouTube and watch some of the videos, and it'll tell me like the differences.
Right.
That stuff too.
When I watched Jupiter Ascending, it was like so like boring. It was like, okay, they rise up and they take over the world, and
Yeah.
then this guy
Go back-
decides he doesn't want to take over the world.
Yeah,
Right.
it would go back and forth from being kind of like giving you some action,
Yeah.
but then just story, just straight story.
And then I
constant
watched
action.
this, and I was like, okay, it's probably going to be similar or whatever. And then that first moment hits you like a bullet.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just shock you right
Yeah.
into the show.
And then you're just like, well, oh my God, if that was my girlfriend, if that was
Yeah.
my wife, like, I would exactly the same way, you
It
know?
just starts screaming.
yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah, like
But again,
that
like
scene where he holds
you-
her hands.
Yeah, just the
oh
hands
my
are there.
God.
it really shocks you, and it's like, holy shit, like that's what this show's going to be about.
Yeah.
Like it throws you off guard. It really does. And like any type of great storytelling, it throws you off guard.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the great things about having Christian on that I just want to quickly mention is he is familiar with the comics, and I think it's good to get that extra perspective. But another thing too that's great about is the show also keeps people like Christian on his toes, because
Yeah.
it is different from
Yeah,
the comic.
change-
Like
yep.
it makes and changes that you don't
So
expect.
many differences.
So it keeps
Yeah.
everybody like interested. And, obviously, there are going to be spoilers in this episode. It's kind of impossible to do a recap of the third season without
definitely.
that
If you
happening.
haven't watched it, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
listening.
absolutely. So I wanted to also just talk about the season 3. For me, it's kind of interesting because, it met most of my expectations. I wouldn't say I felt fulfilled by the season 3. It's like, here's the thing. I still don't know what to think of it. It's one of those weird type of endings where I don't dislike it. There's no reason to dislike it, but it really is like nothing was really accomplished because so much shit happened the entire
Yeah.
season. Like so much crazy shit. But they're back at square one, and it's like in the first season, they're still at square one, but we learn things. Like there's a bunch of twists and revelations. The second season, there was sort of a victory in the end. And in this season, it's like, I don't know what to think. Like I'm still trying to process it
I
all.
feel like the big part of the ending for season 3 was that it was the opposite of season 2. Like at the end
Yeah.
of season 2, the little man cooks what's her name, Stormfront cooks her with his eyes,
Yeah.
and then walks away
Yeah.
with Butcher. Butcher's
Yeah.
like, "Come on, we'll go," and
Right.
Homelander's like, "What the fuck?" Now at the end of season 3.
the opposite
It's
happens.
different.
Yep.
He leaves with Homelander, and then Homelander blows up that guy's head. Yeah, I almost felt bad because
Yep.
we're spoiling, but we already told you
Yeah.
you should watch it before you listen.
Yeah.
Blows up the guy's head, and then it pans to the kid, and you see him kind of smirk.
Of course.
And I'm like, because at the end of season 2, you're like, all right, he's gonna be a good guy. Because I'm already thinking that the only person who's gonna be able to beat Homelander is his son. That's
Me
what I'm
too.
thinking already.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
So at the end of season 2, you're like, all right, the good guys got him. They're gonna make him a good guy. But then at the end of season 3, Homelander's got him, and he kind of looks like
Yeah.
he likes what's going on. You know what I mean? Like smirking
Yeah.
after the guy's head blows up.
It's his dad, He finally gets to reunite with
How
his dad.
messed up was that? I didn't see
Yeah.
that part coming.
Yeah.
When his father
Like,
was
when
like,
he's-
"You're such a disappointment." I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh man, yeah." I was like,
Well,
"Oh shit!"
And
I
that's
didn't
what
see that coming.
enrages me is like sometimes like you get so invested in the show that you say to yourself, okay, if I was in that situation, how would I deal with this?
Well, yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm standing there watching him because he calls him up. There's no spoilers, but he calls him up and he says, if I knew you were my son, I
It
would have
would've
let
been
you
different.
take the throne.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he goes and he hangs up. So
It's
you're
with
thinking-
Soldier Boy, right?
Yeah.
Yup, yup.
So you're thinking, oh great, he's gonna turn
Mm-hmm.
and help out Homelander, or he's gonna they're gonna unite and take over the world or some shit together.
Yeah. but the thing is, Soldier
know?
Boy is a man of his principles, though. That's a huge difference between him and Like
Yeah.
Homelander makes up his list of principles.
Yeah, that's
Like Soldier Boy actually sticks to his own.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking phone.
Absolutely.
My
Yeah.
bad. You're hearing ringing in the background. But like the whole thing with Soldier Boy, like I found it very interesting. Like I just have so many thoughts. Like the whole thing got fucked up, the whole plan, and the ending of the season 3 finale
Yeah.
it's mainly because Butcher like a dumbass burned the bridge with Ryan, the kid.
Absolutely.
He
Yeah.
shouldn't. If he never did that, if he hadn't have done that in the first place, the whole scenario would have been so different. They would have gotten, and from that moment on, when Homelander got the kid involved, everything became fucked up. Like so many things happened that didn't need that. Like one opinion I have is when they all start fighting, like Maeve starts fighting Homelander, everybody else gets involved and fights Soldier Boy. I almost think, like, if I were in that situation, get the kid, once the kid's knocked out unconscious, get the fucking kid out of there. Don't have Maeve fight Homelander. Let Homelander fight Soldier Boy, because Soldier Boy's going to detonate and drain Homelander of his power. It doesn't even matter if Homelander wins. That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah.
And the whole thing could have just turned out so much better, but everybody's just like out for blood in that last minute. You know, Starlight is, you know, trying to fight Soldier Boy, and it just, to me, it's like, what a fuck up.
Yeah.
No, it's so true, because like when I saw the final episode, like I'm like I said, I thought he was going to turn on Butcher and all that stuff, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. I was like, he mentioned previous to that he has these like psychological issues with his father, and that his father was like, he said you're such a disappointment.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm like, well, maybe he's gonna say, you know, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah.
But no,
he becomes his father.
He
basically,
becomes his father. You know, and he's you know, as soon as he said, "You're such a disappointment."
Oh yeah.
If I was in that room, I would have went. Shit.
And you saw the hurt.
You
you
know,
saw
like,
the fucking hurt in Homelander.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
like,
definitely.
oh no.
And it was
And that
brutal.
threw me off guard because I didn't think that's where it was gonna go. I
No.
thought they were
Yeah.
gonna connect, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh shit, like how are they gonna beat the
But
two
that's
of these
another
guys?
thing. The whole fight with Maeve. Whoever wrote this show deserves an Oscar or whatever they call it, a writer's award or something, because if you read the comics, her role is like she's basically just like a drunk slut, you know, and when she finally does fight Homelander, it's so fast.
Really?
It's like he just snaps her neck, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you didn't find out that she actually cared about anything. You didn't really get involved in her.
They didn't give her like a human
They didn't-
side in the comics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between the show and the comics, is that they're doing such a great job at fleshing out characters that normally you would just be like, all right, whatever, turn the page.
You know, that's a great point. Like, they changed everyone's roles here too. I know. Like the thing with
even A-Train.
yeah.
You know he's a dick. He killed Huey's girlfriend. He doesn't give a shit. He apologized like this. He goes, yeah, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I think
You know what I'm saying? And
I personally, like, that's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Like A-Train, like with the heart replacement and all that. One complaint I have, I mean, I was going to mention all the complaints at once, but I'll just do it like gradually, I guess. When I personally think they should have just left it to A-Train's death when he
that would have been a nice death.
because it really would have. It would have ended on a deserving note with him, because he is a despicable I don't like him personally. I don't think he has any redeeming quality, and he's the one. He's the one. It's actually in this scene, we got it playing in the background. He's the one who's responsible for his brother becoming a paraplegic or whatever. And if he had caused his own death from just the error of his ways, you know, being selfish, not, you know, thinking about the consequences of his actions, that would have been the perfect way to end off. I don't really see the purpose in keeping him, but again, they might have something in store for him.
They do.
So okay,
You know,
so I mean,
do you know?
No,
In the
I don't know
comics.
about the comic, but
In
the only
the,
thing
in the comic books,
do you want to know, Adam?
do you want to know?
Oh yeah, don't
Okay.
worry about spoiling
All right,
stuff
in
for me. I don't
in
mind.
the comics, Huey kills him.
Oh well, yo,
That's what we wanna
That's
see.
kind of where you want
That's-
it to go.
that's
We
why
wanna
they
see
gave him
that.
the
because
heart.
of the very opening thing in season one.
That's why they gave him the heart. They gave
Yeah.
him redemption with his brother slightly, but now he's got to answer for Huey's girlfriend.
And I think another reason
Yeah.
they kept him around too is because Homelander killed the other speedster. So like, there's no
He did?
Homelander.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Wait.
remember when he grabs
What was
he
I'm trying to
grabs
remember.
Starlight.
The-
Grabs Starlight when they're supposed
He
to be
was
like
a speedster?
I think so. Wasn't he the wasn't
Oh,
that
'cause
guy
I'm
the
I
thinking-
speedster
forgot.
too?
I'm thinking season 2 there was
No,
a...
Speedster dies in the courtroom with the head popper. She kills him. Remember?
Right.
That's how he
right,
dies.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
one
yeah.
is the one that they
Oh, okay.
he wins? Not Speedster. His name. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm saying this wrong. He's one of
It
the
was like
fast
Bolt?
guys.
Really?
It
was
wasn't
like
A-Train.
Bolt
It was
or-
the guy that like won the competition. He used to date Starlight back when they were in.
Oh,
like,
Supersonic. You're talking about
Supersonic,
okay.
yes.
The
So
super.
Homelander
Yeah.
killed him, so they don't have a speedster. That's what I mean by speedster.
Right,
they don't
yeah,
have
right,
like a fast guy running around.
Wait, was Supersonic a fast guy?
I thought
was
it
that-
was.
Well,
I
they
thought he was-
raced.
Yeah,
But he,
yeah, right,
okay.
yeah.
He juiced. A-Train juiced
Yeah.
to beat him.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was
that
season
yo,
2,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that was either season 1 or season 2, and that's funny
Yeah.
too because when they brought him back to do the whole like whatever the show
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Homelander and Starlight, I
Did
was
we
thinking
ever
to
find
myself,
out what his power was?
Supersonic.
No, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend. of Starlight.
That was Supersonic, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought that was
the one
that was
who
Supersonic.
Homelander
He
kills.
was
He
the
blows
one-
his face up on top of the rooftop. That was
Cut-
Oh,
Supersonic.
yeah,
leg
yeah,
and
rip-
shit.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
lifts
it was
the
just
cuts on his
super
leg.
super strength because you see him curling like a 1,000 pounds.
Right,
Or something.
I thought all the soups basically
Have
like
super
super
strength,
strength. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
They,
yeah.
they
yeah.
have standard powers.
Yeah,
It all
exactly.
comes down to like your genetic makeup.
and that's
like, you know.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like to me, like I actually like the fact that they didn't kill off Maeve in the way that you mentioned in the
Yes.
because I think the thing that
Yes.
season 3 is trying to prove is everybody's coming out of their shell and
Yeah.
changing their roles. For example, Maeve, and not only that, but everyone else is discovering that Homelander is vulnerable. But
Yeah.
the problem is his biggest power, the way I look at it, with all 3 seasons, is his ability to intimidate people because he knows how to, like, and there are people like this in real life. Like I said, like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know the psychological game, how to get in your face and scare you. And when Maeve is punching the shit out of him, like, and you see his face
She
bleeding.
did a good job too.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was going to last that
You-
long.
you
because,
know-
It's
like
funny
I
though
said,
when he
like-
looks at her, he's like, "Not now, Maeve." No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Like he disregards her.
Yeah.
you know. But she takes a full-on blast of his laser eyes.
Yeah, and then
into
she
her
blocks
chest,
it.
and then she blocks it. Which I was thinking to myself, and I told you a bunch of times, that if I was going to fight him, that would be my biggest concern.
Yeah.
Is how do we deal with the laser eyes?
The
yeah, 'cause if
laser.
he's looking at you, you're
Right.
in trouble. Basically.
Butcher's the only one who
Because
could
if you
deal
really
with
think
it.
about it,
And Soldier Boy.
the real after that, you really got to just worry about his flight because he could drop you from wherever.
Yeah.
And his strength.
The problem is too, how do you hurt him? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, how do you physically harm him? Like,
Now-
how do you land the
Soldier
killing blow?
Boy.
His,
You know?
his father, Soldier Boy, could be taken down by nerve gas. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knocked out, not killed, but taken out by nerve gas.
Yeah, we still don't know what could kill Soldier Boy
There-
exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't think there is something
Yeah.
except for a nuke.
Can I just say too, like one of my favorite highlights from season 3 was the fight scene in Herogasm. Like there are many things I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was such and it was so unexpected
Yeah.
too, because I think like we all thought it was just going to be about that stupid orgy or whatever. Like, but when Soldier Boy and Homelander just meet, it's so abrupt. And then when fucking Butcher gets involved, and you actually see Butcher puts up a fight too.
Yeah,
And then
yep.
Huey gets involved, really had me at the edge of my seat. And
Homelander was like, he was taken back because he goes, "What the fuck?"
Yep, yeah, yeah.
Because like Huey in a previous episode actually went up to him. Now he's told. Now the actors like the guy who plays Huey. He's the son of a famous
Meg Ryan
Meg
and
Ryan-
Dennis
Dennis
Quaid, yeah.
right. So
Really? I didn't know
outer,
that.
outer,
Yeah.
Okay.
outer space. No, inner space.
Inner space,
Inner
yep.
space. That's his dad.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right.
I didn't know that.
You can
So,
see some similarities in the face.
He's taller than
tall.
Homelander because when you watch the show, Homelander's a very intimidating figure.
Right.
So whenever he's standing next to somebody, he's always on a certain angle
Yeah.
Yeah.
where he's towering over them.
Yep.
And then there's a scene where they make the movie where they have like a movie that sort of
Inside the show. The movie inside,
covers
yeah.
up the whole Nazi Stormfront issue.
yeah.
Right? And he's just standing there, taking pictures. People taking pictures of him. Huey bumps into him.
Yeah.
And Huey's like 2 feet taller than
Oh, he's much
Homelander,
taller, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love that scene where
He-
Homelander's stepping his bounds
Yeah.
in their room.
With him and
And he
Starlight.
stands up, he just walks up to him and he looks at him down. And Homelander's like, he could easily just flick him into the next world.
But he's
and-
surprised. He's like, "Whoa!"
He's like, whoa.
But that was a good
he's
scene.
impressed.
Well,
But that's
You
another
know?
part, like how they're changing roles that I like. Huey is now starting to show not only that he's more assertive now, but also that he's angry, and I think
Right.
it's
Yeah.
realistic. He feels emasculated at this
And he's
point from
acting it
dealing
out,
with people,
too.
and you could tell he's pissed. And I think that's a great, like with the thing with Maeve and with him, and I like how they are changing the roles. Like he is like I don't care what happens. I want that temp V. I want to fight these motherfuckers now. He's not that pampered little bitch that he came off
Yeah.
as in the first. And even like another role I noticed they changed is with Homelander. Homelander is starting to realize that there's not much in his, especially with his son, there's not much in his way. Like one thing I got sick of in the first 2 seasons is the constant blackmailing. Now I understand it's the only way you could really take down a soup because you basically you have to intimidate them by using like people's love and affection
Well, you know
against
what it is,
them.
you
Whatever.
can't take them down. You have to
Exactly.
manipulate them.
That's the only way you could do it. But it happens so often in the first 2 seasons that it does get stale, in my opinion.
I'm very confused with the first season. Like, I love the entire show, but the one thing that stands out in my mind, and the whole motivation behind Butcher, is that he believes that Homelander slept with his wife.
Raped his wife.
Right.
He
Raped
thinks
his
raped
wife.
his wife. Yeah.
They never established
But
what really
in the
happened.
comics,
No, not really.
they have a big explanation for that,
What is it in the
which
comics?
is it wasn't him, and it wasn't a shapeshifter. It was his clone.
Well, yo, the one thing that I
know?
do know from watching the YouTube stuff is that the clone did a lot of the fucked up shit,
Right.
And like
Right.
took pictures
But
with
that's
his
what I'm
mask off
saying,
just to blackmail Homelander.
So as the show goes on, they never really address it.
Yeah.
They never really say, well,
It's
well,
funny.
dude, that's
I
because they're not doing. Well, yo, I definitely wanted
Yeah.
to talk about Black Noir. But that's because they're not doing.
Me too.
They're not doing Black Noir like
at
they
least
do it in
say
the
that
comics.
it was a shapeshifter, though.
or something. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
So-
there was the shapeshifter that he
But-
killed in what season?
So
2,
I
think?
watch a lot of clips of this on you, and it's
Yeah.
funny because people have brought up, they're like, it doesn't really make sense that Homelander raped Becca. Like, it seems out of character
doesn't,
for him.
yeah.
And it makes me think, like, it makes me reflect. It does make much more sense when you think about it from, like, in terms of the comic books and how they may have taken liberties a bit too much with the show. I mean, I don't know. But the thing I just wanted to say real quick about Homelander, like changing his character, now you notice the blackmailing doesn't affect him anymore. Like Starlight got in his face and she was like, she overplayed that card of, I'll show the Flight 37 or
And at
whatever.
one point he's like,
and,
go ahead.
And he's like, go
I like
ahead.
it.
Because
Let's light this candle.
Yeah.
Yo, I like.
Let's
I
light this
like-
candle.
I
He
like
says-
the fact that he's
yeah.
starting to get like that. Because
He's-
if you gave me his powers, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, do whatever the fuck you want.
and he
You
says,
can't get
you
to
have
me.
no fucking
Yeah.
leverage.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
says that to her
Exactly, yup.
face.
But he still has that one problem, is that he wants the fans to love him.
He
Yeah,
needs to
yeah,
be
yeah,
loved.
No
yeah.
matter what, like, he could take anything
If-
you want.
Yeah.
Dude,
You could say anything you want to him, and he'll still be like, as long as I have the fans' love, I don't care.
They
Right.
got to kind of keep that around though, because if he loses the care about the fans' love, he literally can do anything
But that's
he
a
wants.
double-edged sword,
Anything
because-
he wants.
He won't have
Because
any
of
other
the
people
end.
in his life.
Because
Yeah.
look what happened at the end.
Yeah.
Now he can kill people, and everybody loves
Everyone's
him for
gonna
it.
cheer. Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
I have a feeling that the dude Todd, who
Oh,
is
yeah.
The stepfather?
yeah, like the
Yeah,
stepfather.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
am I the only one who thinks that he at some point is going to be some type of a supervillain?
Like an asset.
I think
I
he's going to
think
be
more
helping
like-
the bad guys in one way, shape, or form.
He could be
think
like
it's gonna
another
become
Deep.
Like, I know this is a completely different topic, but vampires. Like, he's gonna be the assistant, or he's gonna
Oh.
be such a supporter.
Like Renfield.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Of
yeah,
such-
yeah,
He's gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
so devout to Homelander that it's almost gonna become a religion.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Yep.
And
Kind of like how the Deep is already, except maybe more psychotic. Like the
Yeah.
Deep is just an idiot. But
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, because he's the one in the crowd. The head blows up, like Homelander blows the head up.
He's the
Everybody
first
looks
one to
around. He's the
applaud.
first one to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
that's
he's
scary.
with MM's kid too.
Yup,
Which is even
exactly.
scarier.
That's another thing. They don't really go into MM's powers. They might go
Well,
into later seasons.
He
Well,
refuses though. I don't
was
think
gonna
he's
say
going
that
to.
They can't because
They-
he hasn't done it yet.
They
He hasn't done the V yet.
You're absolutely right. They can't do it, because if they did it, it would be like, there's a lot of things in the show that,
Well, let me ask you a
They
question.
stopped.
Does he do the V in the comic book?
yes,
MM
but
does?
he already has it in him.
Really?
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
know that.
In the
Wow.
that's why Butcher came and got
Interesting.
him.
See, I can't wait for season
There's
4, man.
there's
I can't either.
an episode where Butcher breaks down and he says, "Do you know why I chose you to join the boys?" And he goes, "Yeah, because I'm strong and I can do this."
Wait, you
and
talking
this
about the
and
show
this."
or the comic?
The show.
The show.
There's
yeah,
a
and he's
scene
like,
where he
because
says
you
that,
keep us
yeah.
together. Because
And he
you're the
goes,
glue.
"No, that's not the reason why." He goes, "The reason why is because you keep us together."
Yeah, yeah,
and
right.
stuff like that. Basically, they were alluding to, he's super strong, and it's his ADD. Is that
It's something like that.
ADD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
ADD.
I think it's
that
something
keeps
like
him
OCD.
OCD,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
OCD
something like that.
keeps him from going berserk.
Oh, okay.
So, like, there was a scene where he's at the birthday party of his daughter, and he's putting every like fork and knife.
He's squaring it all up.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah,
you
military
know,
style.
Even though
yeah.
it's like kids
yeah.
that are gonna like play with it. He basically set it up in such a way that, like, it's almost like his repetitive, like, stress relief.
Yeah,
in a way.
okay.
But like I said, in the comics, it's completely a darker. You know, like the show. I like the way that, like you said, Dylan, they turned away from the stuff that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they made these characters so great. You know?
Well, that's
because
like the thing with Herogasm too. Like that's an like everybody
they turned away from that.
They turned away from that,
It was supposed to be like really, really bad.
I thought they built. I mean, I already could sort of see that they built a little too much hype around. Like they made it like it was going to be the most fucked up orgy ever.
It was like the Red Wedding,
and it's
like when with Game of Thrones.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh my God, the Red Wedding!
Yeah.
It's gonna be this bloodbath and blah 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 blah." And then you started HBO. You're like, "All right, it's not so bad." Like, what was the point of that?
even after the fact, though, it's like it's all everyone seems to talk about. To me, that fight scene with the three of them, like that was the four. That was so
great.
epic. And there's
Yeah,
even like a
great.
tease almost where you think is going to interfere and be a dumbass, and then
Yeah.
Starlight's like, "No, get the fuck out." It's like the audience almost saying, "Get
Yeah.
the fuck out. Nobody
Yeah.
wants
Yep,
you."
yep.
Just have this epic fight, and it's the one time you see Homelander show his fear. You know, he actually is
Yeah.
afraid for once, and that's
Well,
another
he has
thing
to
about
run
him.
away. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the fight, he's got to run away.
He
can't
forfeits.
stay
I
there
love
and
that
finish.
scene where he throws the gas grenade at him.
Yeah.
And it's gonna kill him.
And he smokes it like a
picks
bong.
It up, and he smokes it like a bong, and he blows it out the side of his cheek. And he goes, "Oh, that brings back memories or some shit."
Dude.
And he's like,
The drug stuff in the
Oh,
show just cracks
yeah.
me up when he's taking the knife and crushing
Yeah,
up the...
yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we won D-Day on these benzos. I'm
"Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what the
yeah."
fuck? It's
Even when he's with the
hysterical.
two grandmas, it was kind of funny
Oh
too.
my
Oh
god!
yeah, he's like, "Oh,
What the fuck?
he's like, the women get sweeter as
Something
they
like
age.
longer age,
yeah.
or something like that." Yeah.
Like a fine wine
Yeah, like
or
a
some
fine
shit
wine.
like that.
But like back in his day, they would be like supermodels, you know, like
Yeah.
man.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. That-
Soldier Boy. Now, what do you guys think of Soldier? I thought he was a decent addition
Oh
to the
my
show,
God,
and I
what?
think unfairly handled too. They got to bring him back in season 4.
Oh, they
I mean,
gotta.
please.
Yeah, I hope so.
They have to.
I hope so.
Because nobody else. I mean, like,
I like the way they brought him in because he's almost like the only character that's a bigger dick than Homelander.
Yeah.
Like Homelander's a dick, but Soldier Boy's a real big.
well, they're
dick.
also a
That's
different.
The thing, though. Homelander's like a scary dick.
Yeah.
You know, like you
like you said,
scary
he's a narcissist.
yeah.
He's a
Like you
psycho.
could be talking to him and he'd be like,
Well, he's more
"What the fuck
mentally
you mean by
ill.
that?"
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh wait.
Yeah.
He's more dysfunctional.
Yeah.
It's just personality. Soldier Boy is similar, but he's also different. And I had a theory too, because Soldier Boy isn't unstable. Like he does have his own set of principles, and
Yeah.
he sticks to them. Like we see, and Homelander is just a ticking time bomb. But I wonder almost because Homelander does have that whole "love me, daddy" thing going on, where he needs love
Yeah,
and
he wants
appreciation
you-
from
yeah,
everyone, and
yeah.
it stems from his childhood, obviously, because he grew up in Vought in a lab.
Yeah.
He didn't have a mother or a father, so he needs that affection. I think, in my opinion, and you obviously know the comic more than me, but in my opinion, that's why Stan Edgar gave Soldier Boy the boot, because I'm sure Soldier Boy wouldn't take any of the shit from Edgar that Homelander. Soldier Boy would have just told Edgar, "Fuck off, you asshole." And I think he wanted to raise someone who would want that "love me, daddy" thing,
Right.
so he can constantly seek Edgar's
Yeah.
approval.
Yep.
And that's a theory I have, because Soldier Boy, I would like to see them meet up and see what they'd be like towards each other.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
A great theory, because what I noticed was, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but like with
No.
comics,
yeah,
it's a completely different storyline.
Right.
And that Soldier Boy is definitely not what you think he is. And he does a lot of stuff that makes him like a really shitty version of Captain America.
yeah.
Even though this one is like he's like better than Captain America, but he really, 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 really like. There's a scene in Avengers where he's like, the Avengers are cursing. He's like, Captain America's like language.
Yeah.
This guy would be like, take your head right off.
Yeah.
If you either listen to him or you're screwed. And that what he did to Noir for not listening to him.
Are you talking about what
took-
Soldier Boy did to
Yeah.
Noir? Or,
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Like I almost think like if there's one critique that I could give, like I think they should have showcased Soldier Boy's brutality just a little bit more, because we
They
see
did
like
through comics,
What,
cartoons.
you mean like to
the
his own
cartoons.
team when he was-
See, the cartoons show it, but because it's a cartoon and all that, like I don't think
Yeah.
they showcase it enough, really, because we see things like more in terms of what we can respect about him, that he
Right.
kept his word, even when it comes to killing his own son. Like he still kept his word to butcher, and I think they should have really showcased his brutality. Like that's just me. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I felt,
Yeah.
because with the way Starlight acts and everybody else, like like we're supposed to be on board with them, like that's how almost what they expect, and I think they should have given us more of a reason to be on board with them. And that's another complaint I have is with Starlight. Like someone mentioned this to me, and I didn't even think about it. She's fucking annoying in this season, in my opinion. Like she comes off like a real preachy, like Kyle like Kyle Broflovsky in South Park almost. She's like the goody two shoes. She doesn't come up with any solution. She just tells everyone else why they're wrong, and she's responsible for Supersonic's death. She didn't even think to warn him, hey, there are other members of the Seven you can't trust. It's not just Homelander. Black Noir tried to kill me. A-Train tried to kill me. There's only one person you could really trust beside myself. So why, like she's so stupid, and she does things that just defy common sense, and it almost seems out of character for her.
And it sucks too, because it's not even like she, like, as much as she was trying to warn him and stuff like that, it was the star and fame that he just couldn't give up.
Yep.
You think that's what it was?
It wasn't. it wasn't that he really wanted to help. He just wanted to be on the team.
Like, to be honest with you, a lot of when you watch The Boys, you have to say to yourself, okay, we know these guys are absolute garbage.
Yeah.
We know that people, you could see from from a God's perspective, that you could see that people are turning and people are worshiping them like gods, and you know, the government's sort of saying, well, we need them on our military and stuff like that. But when you put yourself in that world, you have to assume nobody knows these things.
Yeah.
So like, what's his name? Supersonic?
Supersonic.
Yeah.
Supersonic looks at Homelander and it's like, wow, this is the greatest guy ever. He's so nice to me. You know, he's going to get me on a show and I'm going to be rich and famous. And then all of a sudden he rips your head off, you know?
It's just like Starlight when she first started, you know? She's basically warning him the way she wished she was warned in the beginning. But, you know, she didn't warn him about the other people he shouldn't have trusted, you know?
Yeah.
Now, the thing with the...
I forgot about this part with the
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah, it is. He's one of the
that's hilarious.
He's one of the producers of the show.
Is it?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think he is. Either that or it's that Diabolical show, but I think he does this.
Oh, God. You know, Christian Slater is a voice on
Oh, I didn't know that.
Diabolical,
Really?
yeah.
So, all right, Black Noir.
Yes.
I have like, it's funny, like that whole thing, like everybody, and I always read the comments. I'm always curious as to what other people say, like on YouTube. And when he dies, everybody, I think, has this false notion that the reason Homelander killed him was because he wished he knew about his father. Like it was an emotional thing, like in that sense. I think most of these people have got the wrong idea. I disagree with them because they all seem to share that viewpoint. I think the thing is with Homelander, he has this specific
because you
rules.
weren't loyal to me.
Exactly.
That's what it
exactly.
was. Yeah.
It's also like the telling the truth. It's the reason he killed Madeline in the first season because she was withholding the truth from him and not and keeping secrets. That's something he can't stand. It doesn't matter how close because he loved Madeline in that first season,
and you notice
it doesn't matter.
He saved her son.
He saved her son. Well.
He did.
I heard though that the son has powers. Is that
Madeline's son?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
Oh no, you could be thinking about when they broke into Vought. Butcher grabbed the baby, and the baby had laser eyes, and he used the baby.
Someone told me that, and when I was responding to a comment, so I don't know if it's true or not, but they told me that he saves Madeline's kid when he saves Butcher. That the kid, I mean, has powers, and he could teleport. That's what I remember this person saying. That's what the person told me. I don't know.
I don't know
but,
about that.
But like, I know he saved Butcher. But here's the thing, though.
Maybe in the comics, but I didn't know about that.
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
But here's my whole thing. If he could do that, like, let's say he did save both Butcher and the baby by himself with Super. How the fuck was he not able to save all those people on Flight 37 if he was able to save the two of them, you know?
Okay, I've been... When I saw that scene... Now, I have a horrific fear of heights.
Okay, me too.
So, when I get on a plane, I'm always thinking that scenario.
Right.
You know? And I just kept on thinking about how it could have went better, right?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, let's... I mean, if you roll the clock back... Him using his laser eyes to take out the terrorist,
yeah,
was a bad idea because then he fried the electronics. he's so strong he could easily flick the guy through the window.
He could have just walked up because he's bulletproof.
Right.
That would've been
right?
funny.
So he could
It
have
was
just
a
walked up to him and just killed him.
stupid thing to do.
Of course, he's
Yeah.
reckless. He's thoughtless.
With that said,
Well, it's because he's not going to get hurt. He doesn't give a
Right.
shit.
The same
Somebody
reason
else
he
does.
lasered
I killed
that-
the bad
that-
guy. I don't care if somebody else gets hurt. You know.
It's like that other scene where he lasers that Ethiopian or whatever. When
with
he's
the
not
airbender powers.
He's acting like, ooh, I'm so afraid, and then he kills a kid by accident.
Yeah.
Like, he's
I
reckless.
tried
He doesn't give two shits.
Yo,
you
let
know?
me ask you guys a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you guys think Black Noir is dead or is he coming
No.
back?
Everybody,
I don't think he's dead either.
don't
I
think
think
he's
they're
dead.
going to bring him back somehow.
everybody wants him to be brought back.
You want to know why? Because in the I don't even know if I so much want it. I just expect it because of the comics. Like
They showed
I
it
know
in
how
the
it
show.
goes in the comics.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna blow your mind. They showed it in the show that he can heal. He has super healing.
Really?
well,
when?
Yo,
Okay.
From
He
almonds?
finds out. he finds out Soldier Boy is coming for him. Right?
Okay.
And Soldier Boy is the only one he fears because he knows.
wait.
He
was
doesn't
this,
even.
Was this in the? This is the show.
No,
you're
in the
talking about,
show.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about when
yeah.
he cuts his
Yeah,
wrist?
yeah,
He cuts it.
Okay.
First of all, if you watch the way he cuts his wrist, anyone else in the world, you cut your wrist that way,
You're dead.
you're dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, he didn't go. I'm not gonna.
No, he
I'm not gonna
dug
put it
in
on
there.
here.
He dug in
but
there.
he. If you go a certain way,
Yeah.
it's a cry for help.
It's
But
worse,
if you,
yeah,
If
yeah.
you go from the other way,
Yeah.
it's permanent.
more severe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more permanent.
It's actually a really good point because Stormfront killed herself by biting off her own tongue, so she bled to death. So I
Right.
guess you have
She
a
drowned-
point. Yeah.
she drowned in her own blood.
So she drowned in her own blood. I didn't even know
because
that.
She bit her tongue off and it went into her lungs.
Oh,
And
okay.
She drowned in her own blood. Which is a fitting death because in the comics she just gets stomped to death by the boys.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, in the comic book, it's a male.
Is
Right?
it really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Okay,
know
I didn't
that.
know that.
Stormfront's a male.
Holy
See, I like the fact
shit.
that you know all this shit. I
he
like
was
that.
Holy
he was a Nazi soldier.
I did not
that
know
they
that.
experimented on.
Wow.
So wait, in the comic, was he just like in the show? They try to hide it that she's a Nazi. In the comic, is he just like straight up Nazi?
No,
They're
no,
not
same
hiding
thing.
it?
He hit it.
Okay.
He hit it for because he's immortal.
Yeah.
When you're as close to the original formula, you're immortal.
Yeah, they are.
Soldier Boy is immortal.
Because he's so close to
Yeah.
the original.
In
Right.
the comic books, they don't allude to that because they don't really. Comic books is all over the place.
Yeah.
But on the show, if you focus just on the show, because he's technically number 2.
Yeah.
Stormfront was the first one because the Nazis experimented and got the formula.
And she's powerful.
Then the Americans won the war. We got the formula, and we made Soldier Boy. And then they mind meshed or they flooded his mind with fake memories, and said, "Oh no, you were involved in World War II."
You are bringing up a
outta
great
here.
like the earlier they are like in the game, like they do seem more powerful. Like and
Yeah.
another thing I know, like Starlight, who's one of the more recent Supes, obviously she saw like I mean, she gets her ass kicked, and I laugh every time I watch season 2. There's not one member of the 7 except maybe the Deep who can't kick her ass. I mean, everybeverybody kicks her fucking
Yeah.
ass.
The only
Yeah.
thing that's stopping her from getting destroyed is
Yeah.
that she has a TikTok following now.
Yeah,
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
social media and
Like-
Instagram.
And it's just it's just very scary because the thing with Noir, like I was saying before, the way he cut his wrists, cut his wrist, it was in such a way that it would kill the normal person. Mm-hmm. It would have killed anybody. He takes out the tracking device and he hands it to the lady,
Which is hysterical.
and
I love
then
that.
he walks away, and for days he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then he finally builds up enough courage to confront Soldier Boy, and he's sharpening the blades and all that stuff. You would have already been dead.
Definitely.
So what I think is going to happen is, I think he's got maybe not Wolverine healing, but like
Kimiko style
not
healing.
like Predator healing. Like you could shoot Predator constantly, but it's not going to do nothing.
Well, the Predator's got like
Oh,
healing
you know,
stuff.
better
that'll heal
example.
himself and
Better
stuff.
example. X-Men, the one with Deadpool, the first Deadpool.
Okay.
You remember the doctor that worked on him? I forget what his name was.
Oh well, he had no nerve endings. I think they killed his nerve endings.
But you
so
see how he put
couldn't
a
feel
sword
nothing.
through his chest?
Yeah, and he just sat there.
And
Like,
he
"Ah,
sat there and
yeah.
didn't do nothing.
Yep.
And then he put and he stabs his leg, didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what his superpower is that puncturing a vital organ or loss of blood isn't really going to do anything. I think it's like a brain thing. Like you have to destroy the brain.
Destroy the brain, sever the.
You know.
Well, you know what's
spinal
funny
cord or
in
something.
the cartoon, And I mean, the cartoon may be exaggerated for all I know, but
Talk
if
about
you watch
Diabolical?
no, I mean here I meant the flashback scene with the little cartoon creatures.
Gotcha.
Soldier Boy literally bashes Black Noir's brains, like his brains come out of his
Right.
skull
A little bit, yeah.
And so that's why I think you're onto something with the healing, because he's able to like, and maybe that's
as long
why
as
he's
he puts it back in.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he'll heal.
okay. So it's like regenerating.
As long
type
as you
of
got
thing.
it's like Highlander. You know, you cut off
Yeah.
a limb, it's gone. But if you take that limb, put it back, it heals completely.
Yep.
But here's the thing:
You know?
my only thing about him coming back, though, like from what it seems, because he is kind of a mysterious character, but from what it seems, he is the type who drinks the Kool-Aid. He's with Homelander till the end. He supports Vought until the end. So it's like if he comes back, he's going to have to side with the boys, I assume. Which to me, that's out of character. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Or
You have to understand what his original role was.
what
in the
was his
show
original?
or in the comics?
In the comics,
Because was that Lightning?
Yeah,
in the
Lightning.
comics-
in the comics, he was the backup.
That was a nice
Yeah,
one.
he was like a safety plan
Yes.
in case of Homelander. being,
If Homelander goes crazy and starts to take over the world,
Yeah.
it's his job to kill him. So that's why he's always around him.
Now, wait a second.
like a
Was he- wait,
contingency plan.
Yes.
Hold on, was he the contingency plan for Homelander or
For
Homelander.
Because but hold on a second. He was around before Homelander, so like
Well, they didn't have a way to defeat Homelander because in the show, I think Noir is the clone of Edgar, who is the head of Vought.
just with superpowers.
Just with
they cloned
superpowers,
him and
yeah.
gave him superpowers.
Yeah, because in the second
think
season,
that's where they're going
they
in the show
almost
with it?
take off his mask.
Yeah.
And it looks like Edgar underneath.
Actually does
but
a
they
little
don't
bit.
show it,
Yeah.
right?
But
So-
but Edgar eats almonds though in the flashback.
well,
Oh,
that's the
shit,
thing, though.
that's
Yeah,
right.
he
Yeah.
said, can you not eat that around me because I'm allergic.
Yeah.
So that's like his one his one weakness or whatever.
So you're saying they made him different a little bit,
right?
like in terms of what he eats.
Or I think Noir is his brother because of the
Okay.
way he treats him. Because if you watch the first season, you watch the second season, he's always like Noir. He's always doing
Almost
his dirty
like
work.
special treatment.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and then he goes, he's about to kill, I think, Butcher or something like that. And Edgar goes, no, don't do it.
Interesting.
And he's got like cybernetics in his head or something.
Okay.
Or is it the helmet? I'm not too sure.
I don't even know if he's got the
That I
cyber.
don't
Is that
know.
yeah? That I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know
so
that one.
He's got cybernetics, almost like the original Deadpool. And Edgar tells him, don't do it.
Oh, so then
Let
he's
him go.
got- Okay, yeah.
So I kind of felt like that's where they were going with it.
I love it when Butcher calls him, "Hey, gimp cunt." Yeah. He calls him a gimp cunt.
Yo,
That's great.
I say
Butcher's
this-
so funny.
I say the shit that Butcher says all the time, and my wife's like, "Would you stop saying daft cunt?" I'm like, I don't even know what it means, but I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Yeah. She tells the kid, "Don't be a cunt."
Yeah.
That's just words of wisdom. Yeah, I mean, you know what? The kid may not turn out to be a psychopath. I think that might also just be like the filmmakers trying to fool you. Like I think like the kid could also, because I mean, he could still have that same hostility that Homelander
I think
has.
the kid is going to kill Homelander.
I
Well-
think he's the only one who can, so I think
Yes.
that's why it's gonna happen
That's
like
an-
that.
I think, well, first of all, the government captured Soldier Boy, and they put him in a cryo freeze.
yeah.
So that implies by Madeline. Madeline did it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the old lady is Madeline, right?
The one that Homelander eventually
Yeah.
kills. Yeah.
She's the government CIA agent or something like that.
Oh, you talk about Madeline?
Yeah, Madeline.
She's the Elizabeth Shue character from the first season. With
Yeah,
the blonde
Oh,
hair.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm so
thinking
confused.
of what the fuck's her name?
She
The
was-
head popper, right?
No. The government agent lady, the old one that takes
Oh.
care of the Homelander.
Oh,
I know who you're
Mallory.
talking about. I
Mallory.
think-
Mallory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is great.
Yeah, this
You know
opening.
what this is about, right?
What's-
What we're watching is like all the superheroes are singing.
Yeah, this is the intro to that episode where you're seeing that YouTube video where they're singing the John Lennon song. So
now,
I
do
just
you know
wanted
what
to-
that's from?
The John Lennon song.
No. Back in early before the the virus of unknown origin.
Okay.
Basically, everyone got together and the world shut down, and we all thought it was Armageddon. We all thought it was going to be a zombie apocalypse or something like that. So celebrities, started singing "We Are the World" and the John Lennon song, and they
Really?
posted that on YouTube. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
so it's like they're making fun of that, and that's
Okay.
what's great about the show. It's like They take
Yeah.
real world, because that was supposed to represent the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. When I saw that, I'm like, wait, where's that from? And I realized, I remembered early 2020, everyone was like singing because, Italy got hit the worst, and then it came over to us and we got hit the worst, and, and so it was just like, everyone was just trying to find a way to connect everyone together.
Yep.
Sort of being pretentious about it too.
And I think one of those scenes was real.
Okay.
I think it was with the guy from Ashton Kutcher. I think
him
that
and
was
his
a
wife.
real. That was really for the pandemic and not for the show.
Wow.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
I wonder if they were pissed off that they used it for the show. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like what's going
This is
on?
what
Like
we
this
did.
is a serious thing, you know? Like, but
That would have been great if they did that without their permission.
Oh man.
I'm sure they probably knew about it. But
well, here's
still.
another thing that I've been dying to talk about.
Yeah.
And that has been out there for ever since Infinity Wars ended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everyone says that the fastest way to kill Thanos would have been Ant-Man going up his ass.
Yo, where did I just
and
heard
then
this the other day.
resizing.
I just heard this the other day. Yeah.
Right? And for months, all they talked about was, just do that. Right? And then when Ant-Man 2 came out, they put him in another dimension because they didn't want to do that.
Oh,
because
well,
it would have been the simplest answer.
Yo, wasn't there some kind of like quick video or something of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they say something to him about it, and he's like, ew, nah, that's gross. He's like, I wouldn't do that. He said something like that. Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that was Kevin Feige or someone. Was it Kevin Feige that said that? He's like, no,
I'm not sure.
it's for kids. We don't want to do that.
Okay.
But everyone's like, well, it would have been the simplest thing. Just, just resize,
Yep.
And what was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life on this show was that one scene where they're going to get, they call him the termite.
Oh, here's your scene
Oh
with the
my
wrist.
God.
Yeah, see,
dude.
look. The way he's doing it.
In.
Look. See,
Yeah.
he's ripping the tracking device out. Noir's, ripping the tracking device out. He's going to heal from that.
By the way, you notice how Vought specifically put it there too. Like maybe they were expecting him to bleed out. Like because
Right, like a
Starlight
normal
had it
person.
in her neck.
Yeah.
Starlight had it in the back of her neck, and people have it like in different areas, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was a reason, like maybe they expected him to bleed out or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But my favorite scene in season 3, hands down, was that first scene
Nah,
with the
dude,
termite.
that was too much, man. That was too much.
I
too
agree.
much, man.
100% agree.
It was too much.
I
Oh
was-
my god.
But the second part of it.
I 100% agree, because let me tell you something. I watched this show from season 1 to season 2, and then season 3 comes out, and that one episode comes out, and I was like, all right, this is pushing my limit to the show way too far. Like, already I can't show this to my dad.
Oh, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
watch this with my dad.
Dude, whenever I'm explaining this show to somebody, I'm like, yo, the show's awesome. Just give it a chance.
Yeah,
Just
but
don't watch it with any kids in the
Yeah,
in
no,
the
no
room.
kids, no
Yeah,
parents.
No kids, yeah.
Like,
Nobody that might
like
get
in
a
the
little
first
squirmy.
half of that scene, like I could totally have dealt without. But the second half, when he tries to attack Frenchie, and he's like, he's trying to get to my ass.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
hysterical.
I couldn't stop laughing.
The sandwich
when I heard that.
baggie full of cococaine.
Yeah.
That was one
Where
of the
they
funniest
throw 'em in
fucking.
it,
Yeah, and he shakes him up. And
like
everybody,
hysterical.
and again, it's like, you think Herogasm was bad. That was like probably the most fucked up scene I
Yeah.
think I've
Oh,
ever
yeah,
seen
no,
in
no,
anything.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I 100% didn't expect it. Like,
No.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, man,
I mean,
come
that
on,
threw you
come on.
off guard.
Because you're like, all right, this is pushing my limit
Yo.
to what I can watch and not feel uncomfortable.
I figured when
You
he
know?
was like, I want to feel you in me, I'm like, oh, he's
Oh,
and then he just
no.
puts his dick on. I'm like, oh, no.
No,
It's
no.
funny because my wife doesn't watch this show with me for
Yeah.
some reason. She watches all the like comic book and
Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
stuff, but for some reason I can't get her into this show.
Yeah, me
and
neither.
she walks
Yeah.
in every once in a while I'm watching it,
Yeah.
and she always walks in on like some fucked up scene.
Yeah.
Like the first scene she ever walks in on is I forget what season it was, but it's Homelander, and he's up in the sky. He's like in the middle of the sky next to a
Oh,
skyscraper.
season
He's
1.
jerking off.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that
Jerking
one.
off in the middle of the
Oh.
sky.
That was
where he's in
directly
the
from
middle
the
of sky.
comics.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's hysterical.
It's the
She walks
funniest
in,
scene.
and he's in the middle of the sky, like flying in the air.
He's like, I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want. She's like, what are you watching? I'm like, you don't understand. This show's hysterical.
Yeah.
Then she walks in with the whole dick scene and everything. Season 3. She's like, what is this? I'm like, you don't understand. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
It's
Funny,
hilarious.
man. She's always walking in on some fucked up shit happening.
This like, I would love to like watch this with my wife, but like I tried to get her to watch that one scene with the girlfriend, and
I think the
she's
biggest,
like,
it's almost like a
Yeah.
challenge. You got to get them through the first episode. I
Yeah.
think if you could get them through the first episode, they will become hooked. They just need to like understand it better.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, some women out there, it may be too extreme for them, and some guys too. I'm sure.
I try to tell her, I'm like, it's like a fucked up
I
version of
love
like all
how-
the superhero movies.
Yeah.
how they take the superheroes that we know, and they make like really horrific
Versions
dick
of them
versions
almost.
of
Yeah,
them.
Well,
yeah,
it takes
know.
the same
Like
a
she's what X-23.
Kimiko.
Kimiko?
Something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
She's like a Wolverine in a way.
Well, it takes a similar concept to Watchmen. I don't know if you guys saw Watchmen from 2009.
I
It's
loved
based
it.
on the
That was a great movie.
Great
I haven't
movie,
seen
and
that
it
movie
does.
in so long.
Really?
I gotta
Yeah,
watch it
it's,
again.
it's a good movie, and it takes a similar concept, and in some ways, I think this show expands on it better. But in some ways, I think it's like one problem I have with the entire show is that the entire public is so like oblivious to it, and it's like, yeah, I understand in real life people would be brainwashed. It's not totally unlikely. And everybody always argues against that, but. They have to remember, in real life, there's always naysayers. There's always conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
There's no way that the boys are the only people who see Vought for the pieces of shit that they are. That's the only part of it that I find a little too far-fetched.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like we see it from a third person perspective.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Even
You
The
know?
Incredibles, I know it's kind of a goofy example, but The Incredibles is another example. The Disney movie, like people are tired of their shit. That's why they end up being retired. Like the government forces them to stop because people are like, listen, you're creating a mess. You're
Oh, is
doing
that
all
what
this.
it was? Oh.
Yeah, that's why they go into retirement. So even The Incredibles, I think, sort of got it right in that sense. With this show, I do think it's a little, what's the right word? It's just hard to believe that not one person aside from Butcher and Huey can't just see, like everybody just unanimously agrees that they're
you
all
know what's
perfect.
funny is
Yeah.
that the politicians are the only ones that do that.
Do what?
Notice that they're like monsters
Oh yeah.
because first season there's a politician that he doesn't have a superhero in the city. I think it was Boston, and
The one who tries to blackmail Madeline?
Yes.
Yeah.
and Homelander takes it upon himself, goes up in the air, and cuts his plane in half.
Yeah. Against her will.
And he said, he goes, I understand that, these aren't, Homelander's not an alien from not Krypton.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a regular human being who is just has superpowers.
Right.
And you're grabbing regular people and making them superpowered. I understand that. That's why I'm going to blackmail you.
That's why I like the show though, because it's like this is almost like I could picture this is what I would be like if you gave me superpowers. I might be like Homelander. I might be a
Oh, yeah.
dick.
Oh, yeah.
I might do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck I want because I can. You know what I mean? That's what I like about the show.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the most realistic of like how it would be if there were superheroes.
You're also taking like the worst types of people, like Homelander. You see from his childhood, he's bred into like that sociopathic he grew up in a lab, nobody loved him, Vought just made him neglected, whatever, and that's what, and they probably mistreated him and made him feel like he didn't have any control over his own life as a way to like browbeat into him, yeah, you're powerful but we still control you. A great scene in season 3, one of my favorite parts aside from the fight and Herogasm, is the scene where he confronts the rest of the 7 because they're pretty much all narrowed
So
down.
it's down to 3 now.
Yeah, it's down to 3, and he tells Ashley to take off the wig, and
Can we
he
just acknowledge
yeah.
Ashley's superpower?
to tell off fucking A-Train in that scene.
To rip hair off of a wig and not have the wig come with it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Watch, because
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
she's
yeah.
grabbing her hair. It's a wig. We all know that's later in season you find out it's a wig, and she rips it off.
Yeah.
And
What the? The look on her face is hysterical.
This is a great scene. She just tells A-Train to go fuck himself.
How
Like
does
it's
she
so
keep
great.
the wig on her head
It might
and not rip it off?
It might be like the remainder of her hair.
I was
Like
gonna
she
say,
might be
just
grabbing
be
at
grabbing
it.
at the remainder and then just bam.
Because she
pull
does
it
have
out.
like little strands left.
Yeah,
when
when
she's,
she
Now,
takes
is that
the
from
wig off.
stress or is she dying?
it's from stress because
I
It's
assume
from
stress.
stress?
They
It's
show
driving
a
her
whole bunch
crazy.
of different scenes where she's pulling hair out.
Because
That's
think
not
about
the
it,
first
she has
one.
to exactly like this scene. She has to cover up for this dickhead's mess and Homelander's and everybody
And he's been
else's,
doing,
and
and she's been doing it for a while.
and
Yeah.
and it's not like she has Madeline anymore. Like she's doing it all on her own. And one scene I like is when he's like, when Homelander's like telling her off, and like the other three, he's like, "You're the three of you are despicable. Black Noir is better than all of you." It's a great scene because it shows that he is sort of taking out that anger that he has, that Vought made him feel insignificant, that he wasn't, important enough. He's doing the same thing to them. Like, you notice when she takes the wig off, he smiles. He has a grin on his face, and it's like, there's no reason to tell her to take the wig off. He just he wants to make her feel like she's a disgrace. And the same thing with A-Train. Like, there's someone else pointed this out to me, and it was very true. He tells A-Train, "How could you? You kill one of your own kind." And then A-Train looks over at Black Noir's helmet, and it gives off that vibe like, "You fucking hypocrite. How dare you judge?" And it really is. It shows that, like, even though the Deep and A-Train are dicks, and in the first season, you're sort of led to believe that they're the bad guys. Like, A-Train kills Robin, Huey's girlfriend, and, the Deep, sexually assaults Starlight or whatever. But you see that deep down, I don't believe that they're evil people at the heart of it all. But I do think that scene with Homelander, like, sort of coming down on them, shows that I think he sort of helped bred them into what they are, the same way Vought did the same to Homelander, because he makes them feel self-conscious. There's a scene in season 2 where he's like, "Your fucking gills are showing, you look disgusting," and it shows.
And he does it to A-Train too.
A-Train also.
You're fat.
You're a fat fuck.
He has what do you call it? Smash burger or something like that. You got a shake from Smash Burger.
Yeah. And he's like, "I have to eat like 30,000 calories a day."
When you were
he's
running.
Like, he's like,
when you were
running. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he makes them the way they are. I think a lot of...
Now, do you think that the Deep's girlfriend is that new head of that Church of Heroes or something?
Oh, I don't know. She's creepy. That's all I fucking know.
She's definitely kind of like got
it's a
something
replica
going
of a church that we shall not name.
Yeah. You know, she reminds me of that act. You ever see Wedding Crashers? She reminds me of the Vince Vaughn's girlfine. I forgot her name.
Oh, the crazy one?
One. She reminds me of her. Like, she could be your sister.
When I first saw it, I thought it was the girl from the singing movie where she goes to college and sings, or from Twilight too.
Pitch Perfect?
Pitch Perfect?
Oh. That's the
I thought it was her.
For sure.
But it's not. But they look the same.
Yeah.
Are they sisters in real life? Or
I don't know.
I don't know what that girl's name is. They might be. I love this scene though, where he's talking to himself in the mirror.
This is like
the guy in the mirror.
Oh my
Stop
god!
being a bitch. He's like, eh.
Well, he even tells himself, he's like, you just need attention and approval from people,
right.
and you got to get out of that mentality. And that is Homelander's biggest barrier. And I think that's why Stan Edgar chose him instead of Soldier Boy, like to replace Soldier Boy, because Soldier Boy can stand on his own 2 feet and basically say,
Doesn't give a shit what you guys
I don't
think.
need your approval, and like he's out for himself. Homelander is just like a mess, basically.
Homelander, when before Edgar left, which I don't think he's gone. I think
no way.
I think he's
he
coming back with a plan, because when he left, not Soldier Boy, Homelander was like, was acting like, oh, he's getting one up on Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, well you thought I was this, but I'm better than you. Blah blah blah. And Edgar's like, why should I give you praise and approval? You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Because you're not human to me.
Yeah.
You're a product.
You're bad product.
You're
he
a
tells
bad
him.
product.
You're simply bad product. Why?
Yeah.
What's it like? The never-ending, like bottomless pit of what's it called? Low self-esteem or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a great. Supposedly, according to someone I talked to, they said in the comics it was actually Madeline who said that, but
Really?
I might be wrong. I might be butchering whatever they said. But I know
they
that
changed so many things for the better on this show, because there's a lot of. I mean. To bring up another show, The Walking Dead was great the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
And then they started changing people's storylines around. Like they killed off the blonde girl, they killed off the old guy, they killed off, the sheriff's best friend, who was also a cop. And they just started ruining all these great stories that were in the comic book that they never went into, onto the show.
One of my boys was into it, and he said that he didn't like the way they would kind of like, they would make 2 characters really one character in a show or whatever. He didn't like it.
And I feel like the boys, they learned their lesson, and they said, okay, if we're going to change a character like Soldier Boy, we're not going to make him a dweeb. We're not going to make him self-conscious or afraid to, or want to put him on the 7. No, we're going to give him a real, 1930s attitude towards society.
Yeah, he's the Marlboro
men are
man.
men.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the Marlboro
Women are in
man.
the kitchen. we're the strongest nation in the world.
Yep.
You know, drinking hard, smoking hard. You know, like that was, you know.
That was a funny when he was talking to Butcher about like his father and his past, and Butcher mentions
like
that
the scene right here.
yeah.
He's looking at a father doing the right thing, holding the babies, and he's like, "Do dads really hold babies? Like, do they really walk around like that?"
I love the scene where Butcher tells him like our father used to force us to drink lagers sometimes, and the soldier boy's like, "Well, I'll admit that is kind of funny."
Yeah, like he's so like I really don't want to say it's like toxic masculinity thing.
Yeah.
But he's so macho that like he can't change.
That's Huey's problem with him. Huey's like, there's no way you're really like this. You're not this macho. There's no way. You're not like this.
But he really is.
Yeah, but he is.
He really believes it.
And
you know.
well, you know what? You're sitting there like, is he? Isn't he? And then at the end, when he tells Homelander, he's like, I'm just so fucking disappointed. That's when you're like, yeah, he's macho.
Yeah.
He's not about any of that other shit.
I mean, he did lose. Oh, for a second I thought that was a Justice League cup. I was like, "Well, no way!
Did they fuck up?
Did they really put like Wonder Woman there?"
That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god! But no, I saw that when he said, you know, my dad said, you cheated. You know, real men don't need drugs. Real men go out there and die for their country.
If you were a man, you would have done it the hard way or something like that. Yeah,
and he's like, he came back, and now he's
America's hero,
worshipped, and a war hero, and super strength, super speed.
It doesn't even matter.
His father tells me cheated.
His father's like, no, because
he'll always find something to be
to
disappointed
his father.
in.
It was no. If you were a real man, you would have went to war. You would have died for your country, and I would have been proud of you that way.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's a theme with all the characters. It's like Huey's has like the tender, loving father who's like kind of effeminate, and he's the same way now. Like
his dad is such a great story in The Boys. Because,
really?
Yeah.
Huey's dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when the writers were doing the comic book, they said that, someone asked them, like, well, how would you describe Huey's dad? And they said, the guy from
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, it's him.
All those
yeah.
movies.
And that's why they put him in the show, was as like a tribute.
Okay.
Sort of like when Ryan Reynolds, when the guy was doing the comic book, people asked him, well, what does Deadpool look like before he became Deadpool? And he said, oh, it's like Ryan Reynolds with a Sharpie or something like that.
Okay.
And he says it in the movie.
Shut up.
In the first Deadpool movie, so it was like a tribute.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've never
line.
noticed that. I just watched that.
And that's what, and they did it in this show too. It was like, you know. Basically,
so how long? Now, let me go back to the comic book thing. In the comic books, is it the same as the show where you can only take a certain amount of the compound V and then you're done?
All right, so temporary V,
the temp V.
I'm pretty sure is strictly the show.
Just the show. Okay.
Okay, and I think that's a great idea, because if you were so there's three things that are going to happen if you take compound V. You're gonna die.
Your brain goes to Swiss cheese.
Yeah, you're gonna die. You're gonna get a really shitty superpower, or you're gonna get an awesome superpower.
Well, Christian's talking about the actual like compound V. I think you're talking about the temp V, the green
temp
stuff
V that they're taking, where it's like you can only take five doses.
That's what I'm talking about. So what I'm thinking what they're gonna do in season 4, because they're gonna try to want to make it like the comics, is that when you take temp V, that's what you're going to get if you got the real V.
Okay.
Oh, really? Oh,
that's what I think. So I think what's going to happen is Huey's going to be like, well, teleportation, that's freaking awesome. I just got to figure out a way to keep my clothes on my body. But I'm super strong, I could teleport, and I could literally push Homelander out of the way.
Yeah.
I could punch him, and he'll feel it.
Yeah.
You know? So I think he's going to be like, all right, that's what I'm taking.
Yeah,
I'm taking the
my
real
whole thing
V.
is in the show, they find out that the temp V is killing them, and
Right.
they're only allowed to take 5 doses.
Well, Butcher's
something like that.
Butcher's dying.
Butcher's gonna have to take the blue stuff,
Yes.
I think.
He's going to have to take the real stuff.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, yeah, but I thought someone told me, it may have been you. I thought that the temp V actually makes you more powerful, like someone who doesn't have it in them, than the blue V. Like,
No, it's like when you take like enormous amount of like caffeine.
pre-workout. Okay.
Or pre-workout,
Yeah.
yes. You take pre-workout, you're like, Rah!
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
Right.
you know, and then you come down from it, you're like sweating, you're hot, your skin is all, you know, whatever. And I think that's what is going on. But I think that's what where they're gonna go with it in the season 4 is that they're gonna say, well, Butcher, you're dying. If you don't take it, if you don't take the real thing,
And become a soup,
and
even
become
though
a
you
soup.
hate them.
Yes.
Yeah, yo, that's actually
Because-
pretty cool. I like that. I
because
like
think
where
about
that's
it.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frenchie got hit. Not Frenchie. Kamiko got hit with Soldier Boy's like ray.
Yeah. So
She
lost
didn't
the
get
power.
full of blast because it would have vaporized her, but she got like the aftermath, right? And that was enough to take her powers away, and that's what
Right.
they were planning to do with Homelander. What happened was Frenchie gave her the tiniest amount of real V, and she got all of her powers back.
So she doesn't need a lot, in other words.
Yeah, so there is a lot left over.
Okay.
So I think what they're going to do in season 4 is they're going to Frenchie's going to be like, listen, we got this V. Whoever wants to take it, we're all going to take it, and we're all going to fight them on equal status.
But MM seems very well. I mean, you mentioned he has it already in him, but he seems very opposed to it,
In
though.
the show, yeah, he's
Yeah,
100%
like-
The
against it.
reason
He's
why they
not going
call
to be good
him
with that.
MM is because it's called his name is really Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk, yeah.
Because in the comic books, his mother got
He likes to drink milk.
with his mother got injected with compound V, and her breast milk
Gave him
leak out.
Oh my God, are you
V.
kidding me?
I'm not. No, it's
Yeah,
that's why I was like,
this show. 'Cause this
that's
show's
why I was
fucked
like,
up.
God, they didn't go that route.
Oh, thank
You know?
God.
Yeah.
Thank God is
And
right.
he keeps her in the basement, and he drains her of milk, and that's why you in the
Oh,
show,
man,
not in the show.
It's like Homelander with the cow's
With-
milk
with
and
the cow's
everything,
milk,
and
right.
with Madeline.
So they
shit,
switched
yeah.
it up. They switched it up instead of Homelander being instead of
Mother's
milk.
Milk.
Being obsessed with milk with
They have
breast milk.
Homelander.
It's Homelander.
That's
No
great.
way.
Yeah.
That is priceless.
They switched it up.
So I wonder if in the show if they're gonna go anywhere with that, with MM already having it in him, and he just doesn't know. Like I
I
wonder if
think
they're gonna do that at all.
If they wanted
Yeah.
to play it safe, I think the route they're going to go is he's going to take V, and as long as he drinks milk, he still has his
he's gonna be all right.
superpowers.
That's hysterical.
You know,
That'd
I
be
think
awesome.
that because that scene where Homelander kind of jerks off in the sky.
Yeah.
That was in the comic books, but they didn't do that in the first season because they didn't know if whoever was producing it would have allowed.
Yeah.
That.
If that's gonna
So
make the cut.
That's why it was in the second season because it was like, oh hey, we're allowed to go that far.
we know,
Okay,
we know
great.
we can push it at least this
Yeah.
far. So
Well,
yeah.
and that's
couldn't-
why you see Love Sausage.
Yeah.
Oh god, yo, that's awesome.
Well,
You
well,
know,
nothing-
he's hysterical.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day, nothing can be any worse than that season 3 premiere episode.
No,
that was
no,
just
yeah,
that just pushed it to another level.
I was frozen, and I'm
was
watching
frozen.
this, and thank God my daughter wasn't in the room because I was like,
Oh, God.
no fucking way.
Yeah,
be
yeah, same here.
traumatized.
When
Same
he
here.
exploded,
Dude, it was one of those things.
I literally
watching-
was like, no effing way.
I was watching by myself, and I'm going, "What the fuck?"
It was such a
and I'm by
realist-
myself.
It was such a realistic sneeze too. Like he starts to, and then it's like a false alarm.
Because he was doing
and then
coke,
he's
right?
like,
And that's-
"Achoo!"
it was from the coke.
Yo,
I thought it was
you
'cause he was
kind
in
of
the
knew
guy.
something fucked up was gonna happen
first.
because when he first did it out of it, and then he sneezes and it goes back.
Yeah.
So you kind of knew something was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Frenchie walks in the room and he's like, "Holy shit!"
He's like, oh, you can't leave. When I heard that, you ever have like one of those moments in real life where you're just like, I'm in a really bad situation.
I should not be here right now.
I should not be here. And I literally flashed back to whatever in my past, being in a really bad situation, like a really scary situation like that, and thinking, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
you better run!"
Yeah.
'Cause
You gotta get out of there.
You gotta get out of there.
I love
When he
this-
said, you can't leave. I was like,
Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
Kimiko, where are you?
Oh,
And she
no.
grabs him. Like, I love how Kimiko just instinctively knew where to grab the
Well, yeah, she
termite
went right
guy.
in.
She just got him right away with like one snatch, and it was fucking
Yo,
great.
it was funny in the beginning, before that scene, when the whole crowd of people standing around drinking and shit, and they're cheering. You're like, the fuck are they cheering at? And then they show Termite, and he's sitting there
he's
banging
banging
a
the
Barbie
Barbie
doll.
Barbie
That
doll,
was
yeah,
hysterical. Yo, that part was pretty funny.
And then fast forward to like several episodes later, Homelander just steps on him when he's outside the
Yeah,
door.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
after
the hero,
after the fight.
Yeah.
After
That
the-
was so funny.
Now Nina is actually in the comics. She's not part.
Yeah.
She was not like just
she's
made
not
for
an
the show.
alien. Yeah, no, yeah.
But
she's
in the
part of it.
comics, I think she's a supe. I'm not too sure, but she's actually like 4 foot something, 5 foot something. Like
Okay.
like this actress is really tall.
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
think they did that on purpose to make it like she is almost like the BDSM role model in
Right.
Frenchie's life, who makes him like she's the dominatrix is what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
that he needed, or I don't know if he needed.
That's
it.
it's funny too because it's a messed up way how they kill her off.
Who, little Nina? Nina?
Yeah.
Let us have it. Let's hear
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. I think it was they poisoned. Oh yeah, they something like they poisoned her night after pill or something like that, or drink. It's weird. It's weird. Like she drinks something and then
Oh,
they go
the morning after pill.
yeah,
sort of
something
thing?
like
yeah,
that. It was,
yeah,
it was
I
like
got
a
you.
weird, messed up way of doing it. And I think she drinks something. I'm
What
not
is
too
Butcher?
sure.
Butcher like bangs her, and then the next morning he like spikes her drink. or
It's almost
something.
like like they really get back at her good.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like I'm almost wondering, like, whoever's listening to this, please don't yell at me for not knowing like exactly.
Yeah,
how she
we are
died.
not experts.
Because I saw it like weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that's crazy because that's really horrible.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the way she dies.
One
But
of
I want to see it on the show because she's such a
Yvette,
Ooh.
yeah, she's gonna get a bigger and bigger
Yeah.
role. She's gonna be a bigger part of it because now Butcher's starting to deal with her and stuff.
It's actually kind of an interesting question, I think. But who dies the worst? Like so far in the first 3 seasons, who has the worst death? I think Stormfront has a pretty bad one.
Yeah, that having a bite off your own.
Are you
tongue
talking?
and then
Are you talking about the
drown.
comic or the show?
The show, just as of now, I'm wondering
Oh.
who I would not want. Like Robin, like doesn't even know what happens
I,
to
Yeah,
her.
I know
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
I already made up my mind. You right? What's yours?
So the one that sticks out in my mind, and I think it sticks out because this is where I first realized like this show's gonna be different. Like this show's gonna be kind of twisted and fucked
Yeah.
up. Was when it was the first guy, I can't remember his name, the first guy that they like trapped. And it was the guy who could turn invisible, and they were like, "Well, we can't do anything to his skin."
translucent.
Translucent,
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
had to fucking shove dynamite in his ass or something like that.
Yeah.
Once they figured that out,
Yeah.
I'm like, because I kind of had a feeling, I'm like, I think that's where they're gonna go
Yeah.
with this. And once they did it, I'm like, oh yeah, this show is gonna be fucking twisted.
One of
It's
my
gonna be
favorite
awesome.
quotes in the entire show is when Butcher tells Huey, "You just ass-bombed America's sweetheart. You're now a target."
You know, it's something about his
The
voice and
one
everything.
death
I'm always
that
saying
stands
shit
out in
like
my
he does.
mind is when Homelander finds out that Stormfront killed herself,
Yeah.
and he's supposed to save this girl,
The
Oh,
suicide
it's
jumper.
also
and he orders her to jump off the
It's
building.
hysterical.
That's a great Homelander
Oh my
moment.
god,
Like,
that scared the shit out of
That's
me.
a scene that sums up Homelander better than anything
Oh
else.
my god!
Yeah.
And did you notice that it turned out that she was Jewish? How like,
Oh, yo, doesn't she say something like that?
he
Like,
goes,
Yeah.
listen, you better pray to God, to Jesus,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and blah blah. And she's like, but I'm Jewish. But that's so funny because Stormfront was a Nazi.
Yeah, oh,
so
shit.
he's like,
Oh, shit, I never
he's
even
like,
really
why
thought
should
about
you
that.
survive and her and she's
Yo,
dead?
I never even really thought
I didn't think about that
Yeah,
either.
never
You know,
crossed my mind.
and,
Yeah.
and so I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, I was waiting for someone to just be like, no, you know, she's an actress, you know, don't do it.
See,
But-
like all these people that die, like they die really, like even Translucent when he gets ass bombed, like
Yeah.
it's really fast. I'm trying to think like who really dies in a group. You know who I think honestly, like so far, who I probably wouldn't want to be is Black Noir getting his intestines ripped out. If he
Oh,
is
yeah.
dead, like
Yeah,
that's a
turn-
pretty
turn
bad
like
way to
that.
go.
Getting stepped on by Homelander.
But it's an
That's
instant
quick. That
death
goes
though.
quick
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'm
goes
thinking like
quick, too.
slow. Like what's a slow? Maybe that like one guy in the institution who vomits acid on like the other person.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
You know, they brought it's,
Or-
it's crazy that you brought the institution up.
Are they gonna bring that girl back?
All right,
That's what I went. Yeah.
Just
the
about
one
to
with the
say
shaved
that.
head, right?
Right.
Yep.
Because she looks like badass.
So it turns
G.I.
out.
Jane.
So
Yeah.
I did a little research on that. She's apparently like a trans actress.
Okay.
Okay, and
Wait,
in real life she
is a boy right now, and she's going.
No,
to be
she was a girl.
She was a girl. She's being.
Yeah, so
Okay. I'm just trying to get it straight. I'm not trying to be a dick.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it straight. Yep.
So I looked up the actress and everything I looked up down at the bottom was commentary saying, why isn't this person coming back on the show?
Yeah, because she was in season 2. You never see her in season 3, right? And it turns out that
she is apparently she is the most powerful.
Yep.
Or him, I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah,
well, they could replace her too. I mean, if she is like not able to play the. I mean, they did that with the son. If you notice in the finale of the first season, they used a completely different kid to play Homelander's son. And I mean, I know a kid is a less pivotal role, but still,
you could always say like he aged a couple years or so.
Yeah. But he's more pivotal than she is, I think. And they have replaced other people.
Well, no, they were saying that she is the most powerful character in the show, and that's why she's not in the show, because she could crush.
Love sausage.
Yeah. She could crush.
She's like Jean Grey. She's almost like Jean Grey, right? Like she can do all the mind stuff and everything, crush shit with her mind and everything.
I just thought of another option for worst death. Any one of Kimiko's victims.
Yeah, pretty much. They just showed the scene of her, right? Just stabbing the guy in the chest.
Them apart.
That was with no powers, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was. Did you notice that she did with a pencil, like John Wick?
Is that what she was using when she was stabbing
She was like stabbing him with a pen or a pencil, yeah.
Oh, also in the scene where she saves Frenchie, do you notice when the guy has her like pinned to the floor, like she cuts his femoral artery with the knife?
Yeah,
you bleed out when that happens.
Oh,
and you're cut up here.
You do not want to get cut.
And that's why he's screaming. You notice he screams at the top of his like oh, like he's like I'm dying basically, because once that area, Dexter taught me that like once that area gets slashed, you're fucked. Oh, here's Herogasm.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Now, it was supposed to be a lot worse than this.
I like the part.
Without a doubt. This isn't even the worst part in the show. Like, this is probably the least extreme.
Around, I love the part where A-Train shows up and Huey gets face-to-face with him. They're getting into it. And then Huey punches him, and like A-Train's look of surprisement, where he's like, "How'd you do that?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?" Like he knows something's up. You know what I mean?
Well, I
love that part.
It's a great scene. You're right, because even like it shows how Huey is changed. Like he wants to assert himself now. Like he doesn't care if he's apologizing. He's like, "No, shithead, it's too late for an apology." Mm-hmm. He hits him right in the face, and it's very human. You know, Huey's reaction. It's something relatable. The fact that he hasn't forgotten, and it doesn't matter. Like.
Even though he's still kind of like with Starlight
it's so
now,
funny
he
that
still
some
remembers.
people have like really shitty powers.
Yeah.
Like that.
What was his junk on fire?
Yeah.
What was that?
No,
makes an ice dildo.
Did you see the guy with the? He can only make electricity go between his nipples.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
That's hysterical.
No, because Diabolical, the cartoon. Talks
I
about that.
Yep.
And I couldn't watch. Like I got through the first episode, but I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. But there's this one episode where everyone has like it's an institute for people with shitty powers.
Yeah.
So like one person moves super slow mo, right?
Dude, the Diabolical's pretty good. You should watch.
And then this guy turns into animals like Manimal from the 80s,
like Beast Boy from Teen Titans,
right?
too.
But once he turns into the animal, he becomes the animal.
So he his mind and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he turns into a gorilla, and he's like, ah! And then all of a sudden, his mind goes blank, and he picks up a banana. He just starts eating a banana.
Dude, the Diabolical, the cartoon's pretty good. Every episode's kind of a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I haven't watched it.
It was fun. They were pretty good.
See, I know Seth Rogen has involvement in that. I think he also has involvement with the actual show too. But I just don't remember like if he's more involved with the cartoon or not. I should probably research that.
Yeah,
because I'm not too sure. But I thought this episode like you know,
it's funny
just for
too,
that
because
fight
he switched
alone.
it because he says here I started this.
Yeah, the Herogasm. Yeah.
But in the comic books, he's just a really shitty Captain America.
Okay,
that's and that's another change too on the subject of like things with Soldier Boy. Like now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not Homelander's dad in the comics, right?
No, he's just a dweeb, coward.
A dweeb.
Kind of like how Captain America was before.
There's actually two Soldier Boys. There was one that was
course there
actually in
is.
the 40s, and then he got killed, and then this guy took over, and
In the comics,
Yeah.
that's how it was.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
in the comic books, it's way different.
Did the original Soldier Boy, did he have powers, or was he just some normal dude they called him Soldier
like,
Boy?
Superpowers. Like, he wasn't as strong as he is in the show,
Okay.
but he was just like,
Just
know,
a
super
standard
strength,
soup,
super
basically.
speed, reaction, stuff like that. But he actually sleeps with Homelander to get onto the 7.
Okay.
And
Was he a shapeshifter?
no, he was just
Okay.
He was just Homelander tricked him into sleeping with him just to get and then he goes, "Oh, am I in the
All right.
7 now?" And he goes, "No, not anymore." Like
It's,
hysterical.
it's better that they went the route that they did in the show then.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The show took all these characters that were just like straight up plain, boring, or whatever, and they just turned it around and made them so interesting that you can
Yeah.
follow them.
Although I will say, like,
know?
having... Oh, this scene is so
Oh,
funny.
God.
The scene with the Deep and the
Oh,
octopus.
yeah.
Oh, doctors, Jesus.
It's he takes it out in a plastic bag.
The tentacles
Oh,
are
yeah,
wrapped around his
when-
ass
when-
and shit.
Yeah, he's
when
running
the
out
building
with-
explodes.
He doesn't even think to, like, help the situation. He just
Oh,
runs
when
out with
he,
the octopus.
when he gets a girlfriend, he's like,
Yeah.
I think we should.
Oh, yo, when he's trying to talk his
Yeah,
wife into
and she's like,
doing the
okay,
acting
who are you thinking of? And he goes, and he pulls her out of the octopus out of the water.
stuff. It's hysterical.
And then Homelander
Wait, where does he
forces him
call her?
to
Her
eat it.
name's Lucille or something?
Lucy.
Lucy?
Yeah.
She's a
Okay, this is the second most like messed up part in season 3. What they pull up on the TV screen, we could have been spared this. You remember? It's
I don't
a,
even
yeah.
remember what they pull up here.
it's a toilet camera.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
over-
yeah, I do, I
That,
do.
You know what? That's probably worse than anything for me. We could have just. But I think like the twist with Soldier Boy being the father, like I think that was like almost like a real like pretentious, almost like a soap opera kind of drama mode. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it really affects the plot any more than it needed to be. I think
Yeah.
they just did that to like seem like extra like, oh my goodness, you know, like to get that reaction.
It was
is
so
because
good,
of at
though.
the very end when
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I got my son. You're my dad. You can be his granddad."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, you're a bitch." I think that's why they set up the whole thing where it's like, "This is your dad." Kind of get Homelander's
Yeah.
hopes up, and then nope, not happening.
Yeah, I mean, at least they found a way to tie it together, you know, like and give it meaning like that.
They made it more interesting, and they definitely expanded the show for many years to go because
Oh,
Is there-
definitely.
they you can't kill Soldier Boy, and the government has him and they froze him, so he's the backup.
Well,
Yo-
Mallory has him now.
Yeah.
It's no longer the Russian
Which
military.
is ironic because he didn't like her at first, and it's funny too because she hurt his feelings
Yeah.
when he came onto her for the first time, and he goes, "Oh yeah, if you like," he didn't know she was straight.
This
Yeah.
is Soldier Boy.
Yeah, this is Soldier Boy saying this, and he goes, if you didn't give off so many lesbian vibes or whatever," he goes, "you would have a man in your life." And she's like, "Yeah, well, if you didn't, blah blah blah." And when he says it, you can see his chin quiver, as if a little kid going, "Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know."
Oh, yeah,
and
it's
I
tit
was
for
like,
tat.
Wow.
But don't forget, he also has a grandma fetish. So if he gets awakened, she might be like under her collar, you know.
Yeah,
Like, she
yeah,
might
yeah.
tell him what to do.
Yo, now there is no they have no plans on like ending the show. Like next season isn't
They
going to be the
better
last.
not.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
hope
thinking too.
not.
Like I haven't heard anything about that. I don't think they're planning on.
Well, here's the thing.
finishing it anytime
You
soon. I
gotta
hope they
keep
don't.
you gotta keep Homelander. Like this is just me talking, but you gotta keep Homelander in the show. Like you can't if you kill off Homelander. I'll be honest, just speaking for myself, I'm gonna have little desire to watch the show because he.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's great. Don't get me wrong, but he is like on another level. Like
He
he's one
kind
of
of
those.
keeps the show on edge. Like
he's-
what's going to
yeah.
happen? What's he going to do next?
He's so
sort of thing.
compelling that he's one of those characters that, like, the second he's on the screen, you can't take your eyes off him.
Yeah.
Because, like you said,
Yeah,
what
'cause
is he
he's
going to do
nuts.
next?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're like,
He's
what's this
psychotic.
guy going to do? I got to watch.
Yeah.
So I like even if he becomes like, and this probably isn't going to happen, but even like he turns out to be the anti-hero, and there's some twist that we now
Yeah.
have a bigger enemy, which is sort of what season 3 kind of turned into in the end, I guess. But still, keep him in the show because I mean, what's his name? Anthony Starr, who plays him, is
Yeah.
phenomenal
Wasn't
in
he
the
on
role.
Banshee?
What's up?
Wasn't that guy on Banshee?
He might have been.
It's
don't
so
know.
funny because now that I watch The Boys, I actually go and I watch the shows that everyone else was on, and I'm like,
Okay.
I'm thinking of watching Banshee because like,
You see, if
I
they,
might check it out.
I
yeah.
feel like they can't kill off Homelander. The only way they could kill him off is if they introduce a bigger, badder villain. If there's somebody bigger, a worse threat,
I
feel
think
like that's the only way you
yeah.
can kill him off. Otherwise, he's the main bad guy. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
for the most part.
Well, I think Soldier Boy could have drained, like again, if Maeve hadn't have interfered in Starlight and all those people, I think what would have happened, and the same thing with Herogasm, like you could sort of tell in the Herogasm episode, like Homelander was starting to get the upper hand, but still, Soldier Boy can self-detonate, and I assume it could probably drain Homelander, unless Homelander is so powerful that it can't, but I think he could get drained, and when that happens, he's shit screwed, unless someone from Vought gives him some V.
Did anyone notice that Maeve threw the Nerf gas into a populated area?
No.
No, I didn't even notice
You didn't notice that?
Yeah.
Out
I
the
was
window?
when I was watching that episode, I'm like, she just threw Nerf gas out the window.
At everybody.
And you see it in the background.
Yeah.
It's a city.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah,
maybe she used her super strength to throw it like into a woods or whatever, but wherever that lands,
Yeah.
she wiped out like what, 2 blocks, 3
Yeah,
blocks?
yeah.
Whatever. Oh, this is great where he smokes the grenade.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is great. Picks it up,
Yeah.
smokes it in like a bum.
It is great. This is such a great scene.
If
just period.
if they held true to the comics, Mother's Milk probably would have held off Soldier Boy for a little bit
Yeah.
because of his super strength, super healing. Yeah.
It's hysterical.
And then Mother's Milk just puts his hands up in a boxing stance.
I can't say this actor's name. Who plays Soldier Boy?
Lazo, is it? That's
I forgot. I was Jensen, something Jensen.
yeah.
Jensen?
He's from the Supernatural
Yes.
show. Jensen or something Jensen.
I'm
I
looking
can't
it
remember
up
his name.
now.
When I was watching the when he got on,
Ackles.
I was
Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles. Yeah.
Yeah.
ankles. I was a huge fan of Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt like his role was a little like too macho.
I never really got to get in. I never got into it. My mother said it was a great show. Other people have told me it's a great show.
I felt more in common with Sam than Dean.
I gotta check. I haven't watched the show. I gotta check it out.
Well, when he got on the show, he really wanted to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
In this show, you mean?
Yeah.
Like the boy? I think he did.
So,
When
he
you
did an
consider,
amazing job.
I thought he did a great job.
well, yeah,
But when he got on the show, he's like, "Oh no, I'm playing a superhero. Fine, I'm gonna bulk up."
yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
And
you could tell.
like they
yeah.
interviewed him. They said, "Did you bulk up?" He goes, "Yeah, I did. I lift weights, I ate good, and all that stuff." But what I find funny is I was watching this thing on YouTube, and they were saying that, oh god,
Yeah. Good thing I was looking away.
they were saying that. When he went to the stage or whatever, the studios, they said, "Oh yeah, you didn't have to work out. We could just put muscles in your suit."
Well, did you guys know? So Homelander always has his suit on.
Yeah.
Yes.
and
There's
it beefs
one
him up.
scene where I think Ashley walks into like his room or
And he's
whatever,
nude.
bought, and
He's
and he's
naked.
sitting there butt naked on the couch.
And he's scrawny.
Yo, he's skinny.
Someone
motherfucker.
made
He's
this
real
point.
Skinny.
I didn't even think about this. Someone made this point. The Deep is portrayed as like the weakest, like dimpiest.
Yeah, but
like,
And he's
big
jacked
guy.
up.
But he's the biggest guy.
He's a
like
big guy.
with the except maybe Black Noir, but he's bigger than A-Train. He's bigger than
Yeah.
Homelander. Like he's actually, if you look at him, he's a pretty
He,
jacked up dude.
looks. I don't know if he's like literally physically taller and bigger, but he looks more muscular than the other guys do.
Well, Homelander, the actor who plays him, is actually really short. Like I follow them on Instagram, and you see like the group photos of like the crew. He's like the shortest guy.
He's not.
Who plays
he's not the
Homelander.
biggest
So
guy,
I mean, and the guy who plays Huey is tall.
How tall is he?
He could be. I don't know. He's like 5'5", maybe 5'8".
What? Homely?
5'8", maybe. Let me see. Let me look it up.
Wow. That's crazy.
Oh, this is kind of funny where they think they're going to take him out and then nothing
Aren't they
happens.
supposed to be like a version of the Wonder Twins
Probably.
where they transform? Like, what is that? DC or Marvel?
I'm not sure, but it's the one where they gotta like hold hands and do shit.
Yeah. Wonder Twins activate. I think that's DC, maybe.
Okay, so I'm way off. You know what it is? The other actors are so tall that I guess they dwarf
Yeah.
him. But
Okay.
he's 5'11", so he's basically...
Oh,
like-
he's the
Holy
same
shit!
size
All
as
right,
me.
Carl
yeah,
Urban,
yeah.
Wow.
because I saw a picture of Carl Urban just sort of towers over him, and he's 6'1", and Huey is obviously really tall.
I was gonna say I think Carlo Urban's over.
Oh shit!
over
Even the
6'4".
guy who plays A-Train is 6'1". I would have thought
Is
the
he?
guy
Oh,
who
shit, I
plays
didn't
A-Train
think he was
is...
that tall either.
Yeah.
This guy comes out with his dick wrapped around. It's hysterical.
That was so
It's
funny.
all burnt.
And then
He
the
comes
deep,
out with
the octopus.
Oh my god, it's
Oh,
fantastic.
nice Camaro.
Herogasm,
saw
good
it.
episode.
Oh my god.
This fight scene to me is like one of the best moments in the whole show. I mean, it just totally.
Oh, this is the greatest revenge ever.
It really shows how useless both the Deep and A-Train are. Like, you would think they'd focus on like
Well,
the
he's
stuff
supposed to be
that
Aquaman, right?
the Deep. I
Yes.
guess so.
I think he's basically supposed to be
He's like a
Aquaman.
version of Aquaman without the really cool powers.
It's like you think they would be following orders and focusing on what they should be focusing, like with Soldier Boy, and it's like the Deep's focused on an octopus.
Yeah.
This is a good death, I have to say.
This is actually probably one of the most violent ones where A-Train
Yeah.
grabs what's his dude's name?
I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
If I pause it, it
Blue
might
Eagle-
show.
I think it was like
Blue something or
Blue Eagle. Or...
Blue Hawk. It says right
Blue
there.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Prime
when
is
he
really good at
drags
that.
him through the street, that's probably
Good-
one of the most
Good,
violent. deaths.
but it should have
But
ended
what was
right
his
here
superpowers?
for
He
him.
was just super strong.
It's just a super dick.
Oh,
yeah, basically.
Basically,
right?
it's
He
super
definitely had
racist.
some kind of super strength because in the
okay.
hall he was shoving people around
Yeah.
and shit.
But like, look at this scene. This would have been the perfect way to end the saga of A-Train. Like, at least in my opinion, like that's how I look at it. Like it basically tied every loose end, and he would have, from his own stupidity or his arrogance or whatever you want to call it. Like, where could they possibly take him now? Like, it almost like the last episode sort of.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, termite. Time for him to get stepped. He's roasted. Looks kind of like Anakin Skywalker, just roasted and bald.
He's like, please help me. Do you think he knew he was there?
I don't think he cared.
Soldier
Whoever
Boy?
was it, Homelander doesn't care. When he lands on Termite, even if he knew or didn't know, he wouldn't have cared. He was going to land there regardless of who was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
This-
like about Homelander is because he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants because he knows he can. Nobody
Yeah.
else can stop him.
This wasn't even planned. I
I
even.
love this episode because you actually get to see Homelander afraid.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But I didn't even plan on doing this, like recording this, like during this episode. But it's just really, if there was a part to play this, like this scene is just so good, like because it's so unexpected. It throws you off guard. Like he ends up not only confronting Homelander, which I thought would have been like saved for the finale, but he also fights Butcher and Huey, and it's really a good match. And Homelander cowers. I mean, it's something we never seen before. It's usually like him intimidating everyone else. And it's just even like the smile on Butcher's face when Homelander's just looking at him like, what the hell do I do? Butcher has this smile with like blood gushing out of his mouth.
Now, what I liked about this was I didn't understand what the deal was. That when Homelander shows up at Butcher's house, he says, "Can I come in?" And then they work out this deal. He goes, "I'm gonna kill everybody." Homelander says, "I'm gonna kill everybody." But I'll leave you for the end so that you and I can fight.
Finish it off, yeah.
And
Scorched earth.
yeah. So is that what he was talking about? Was deals off and he just he tries to kill him?
That's what it's implied. I still think like part of me thought like that scene was like a daydream or a hallucination Butcher was having, but then they already know like what they're talking about.
That was terrifying. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh!"
I thought it was like a
shit.
dream or because Butcher has another vision where he sees him on the TV screen talking to him. So I thought it was like along the same lines.
Oh,
yeah. So I thought like it was just a him imagining like Homelander, but I don't know.
I love how he was about to use laser eyes and he uppercuts him.
Yep.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Well, Ryan's laser eyes didn't do shit to him, so.
You see, I think one of the things that's going to get Homelander eventually, it's his arrogance. Because he's arrogant. He shows up here being like, I'm going to kick the shit out of Soldier Boy. When realistically, you don't know if that's what you're going to do. You're just arrogant enough to think, I'm going to kick the shit out of this guy.
Well, I think Soldier Boy's at a disadvantage, though, because he's rusty. You know, he's been out of commission for like 50, 60 years or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
prime Soldier Boy. All right, so this is what I was talking to Dylan about this. Adam, you tell me what you think. I don't believe that Homelander should be that good at fighting.
Neither do I. Yeah.
Because
he probably doesn't.
He
have to
never
fight that much.
had a fight.
Well, actually, this is a good example because Butcher proves, like, watch when Butcher starts fighting him because Butcher actually knows how to fight. He's used to fighting, and that's what throws Homelander off guard because Homelander probably is stronger than all of them still. But notice how Butcher, it manages. He lasts the longest out of all of them against
Yeah.
Homelander, and it's because he knows how to fight.
Well,
Homelander's never
he's
had
a
to actually
Marine-
fight.
He's a Marine, right?
Exactly.
Butch is a Marine?
He's ex-Navy, ex-Marine, something
Yeah.
like that. So there's even a deleted scene from season 2 where he beats up someone who tries to arrest him and kills him. It's like a former friend of his.
Uh-huh.
You could find it on Prime. It's like a short film they make. But it shows how good he is. That's a smile right there.
Wait,
but look
they
at how
have
good he
extra
is at
stuff
fighting.
on Prime with the boys stuff?
It's like a deleted scene / short film where after he finds Becca and he tries to make his way back home, he tries to like find shelter or something with like a former like fellow Navy or like military guy, and the guy wants to turn him in for the murder of Madeline Stillwell.
Really?
And then Butcher actually fights him and it turns into a brawl, but
Wait,
Butcher
So where do you find that episode?
It's
Is that
just
like
on Prime.
It's
What
yeah.
is
It's,
it like? Do you
There-
go to,
there's
do you go to
Huey.
the boys and go to like the end
It's
season
so
or
great.
something? Yeah. He's like, why are you naked?
yeah, it's such a great scene.
I gotta see if I can find. I don't know if I've seen any of the like deleted or the
Oh,
shorts or anything.
look at that.
It's on the thing. Like this is just so great.
this is great.
This
Yeah,
is
like, you
such
can
a
see
great
the
scene.
fear
He's
right
so
here. You can-
pissed.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you look at that scream he lets out at the end. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
This
it's
scene's
so
great.
good.
This scene's great.
It's so good.
They're trying to hold
and
him
he
down
tries to
cook
save
him.
Huey. He's like, no fucking way. I got to turn the volume.
First time they're trying to cook Homelander. Finally gets out of it. flies
Out of there
the
like a
ceiling.
bitch.
First,
Yeah.
He's
Now,
scared, he runs.
if I were them, I would have went online and said, "Hey, yo, we kicked your ass."
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You know?
because he's so conservative.
Yeah.
What everyone thinks.
and
yep.
and there would have been doubt in the world, and then he would have had to step in and be like, he would have had to prove, call him out,
yeah.
call him out, get him, be like, "Yo, hey, Homelander, remember we kicked your ass?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be at this location, blah blah blah." And then the whole world's gonna be like, "Get him, Homelander!" And he's gonna be like, he's gonna be shaking in his boots because he just got his ass handed to him for the first time in his life.
I mean,
But-
honestly, like that is just so awesome. And like,
I mean-
Mother's Milk and Starlight are like the two Karens that are like trying
Oh,
to slow
God.
everything
Yeah.
down. Like, oh, think of the higher, like the truth and like whatnot. It's like, no, we want to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Come on, it's been 2 seasons of
But that's
him.
what I'm saying. Like,
You know,
when you look at Superman does not. Well, I mean, later on in the comics, so he learns the Kryptonian martial art, some BS like that. But no, when he first came out, he didn't know anything, and it's not like he could go to a dojo and train.
Yeah.
You know,
He
like
could
he'd kill everybody
yeah,
there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, how does he learn how to fight?
who Homelander or
No,
Superman
or like Superman,
or like anyone in that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you're that powerful, you're not going to have a fight.
Well, the 7 does train. Like, you notice Maeve like
trains.
deals
Oh,
with
that's
like
true.
combat training and stuff. But and Homelander's even gotten on other people's cases, I think, saying you don't train. There's actually a good scene in season 2. One of my favorite scenes is when they try before Stormfront. They get the death guy or no, the
Oh,
blind
the-
guy.
the-
claps
the-
his
he
ears.
claps
The
his
devil,
ears.
the
What if
Daredevil
somebody goes
character
like
guy.
this?
Yeah.
Boom.
Another
Yeah.
great Homelander moment,
Yeah.
The Daredevil character guy.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah,
basically,
And he's
yep.
like, he crushes. I didn't think there was going to be that much blood coming out of
Oh,
his
well,
ears.
yeah, coming out of his ears and everything. Sorry about that.
Sorry, the seats aren't very
I'm a-
uncomfortable.
No, dude, you know what it is? If I sit too long,
Yeah.
my hips will start to
I'm the
it's
same
me,
way.
man. It's me.
Like I said, I was telling Christian I'll get a better studio next time.
Nah, man, it's worse, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys wanted to? Do you have any predictions? I mean, we basically covered like you
Adam,
know.
go ahead.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I have any predictions. I want to see what's going to happen with Black Noir because I know how it goes with him in the comics, and I don't think they're going to kill him off that easy.
No, yeah.
Like, I think Black Noir is going to have something to do with the demise of Homelander at some point.
Interesting.
But I do want to see what they're going to keep doing with the Temp V and stuff like that because, I mean, they already took their 5 doses,
Yeah.
right? So they can't do that.
Well,
Huey
Butcher
almost
stopped.
died. Basically, like Huey almost set his own death sentence. You know when
Well,
Butcher,
Butcher-
stopped
they
him.
all started, like, bleeding out their
Yeah.
ears and
Butcher
nose and stuff.
found out from Starlight that if he takes it one more time, she's like, "Well, how many times have you taken it?" And he's like, "A bunch."
Like 3 or 4 or something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
3 or 4. She's like, "Well, don't take the
7
fifth
I was
is
one."
the
gonna say, I
limit
think
or
you can only
something.
have 5, yep.
So, he didn't tell Huey.
Yeah.
So you thought, oh well, he's that much of a dick, but then you get into his mind, you find out it's about his little brother. He thinks of Huey as his little brother,
Yeah,
Yep.
and
another great.
and then
moment.
That was a
he
quick
knocks
part
him
of the
out.
show.
he punches him.
He
out.
knocks him
doesn't
out,
take
so
it.
he doesn't take it.
Typical Butcher
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah.
But what I think, but my prediction is they're all gonna take it because they all know what they're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the temp V, they already know. Huey knows what he's gonna get. He's gonna get teleportation. In the comic books, he just has super strength. In this, he's got teleportation. He's got super strength, super healing. You know, like that's some really cool shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Basically,
Like
I think he's going to be on the blue
He could teleport Homelander to the moon if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's very powerful now, and now he's so powerful that he can push Homelander. And Homelander's like never been pushed before.
See, I kind of like that because if that's the way they go with it, then you're putting all the good guys in a situation where you almost have to become the bad guy to beat the bad guy, sort of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's where I think it's gonna go. Is that they're gonna be like, you know what we're doing is not working. Trying to blackmail these guys is not working. Trying to, you know, come up with crimes and arrest them like normal people is not working because the one who's prosecuting them is a suit.
I was just gonna bring her up. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Head Popper too.
Yeah,
what they're gonna end up doing.
That's
with her.
like the
now,
one loose
her
end.
thing is, as long as her eyes are open and whatever part of
as
your
long
body
as she's looking at you.
So whatever part of your body she's looking at, she can make that explode.
Yeah.
So if she's looking at your hand, she can make your hand explode. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she did that to her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Well,
the guy from
one
the
dude who showed
orphanage
up-
He
or
called
whatever.
her Nadia.
Yeah, he showed up and she's like, "You can't do this."
Well,
They
he
started fighting.
felt right before she's about to explode your head. You have a nosebleed.
Yeah.
So he felt it, and he goes, "No, you don't!" And he turns her face.
He covers her eyes specifically.
And she blows up something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then what she does is like she actually gets a little bit. What does she do? She blows off his hand,
Something like that.
and then she blows off half his face.
Half his face, yeah.
And like he's like,
then she makes him explode,
And then she
like
kills
to
him
kill
off,
off the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with her because she's not done yet either.
Well, you gave me sort of a spoiler, like you told me what's going to end up happening.
you
in
didn't
the comic.
know?
No, you told me, and
I feel so bad.
I think if it does happen,
what happens in the comic? Is this
well,
in the comics?
well, think about it. You mentioned her eyes are
Okay.
the one thing she's, you know, she uses.
Gonna rip her fucking eye
Well,
out.
the guy from Supernatural, the
Jensen.
no, not
So-
him. The one who plays Robbie, or Robert.
I haven't watched it.
He becomes their sort of like you know, helper. Like if they call him up,
What are you talking about in the boys?
yeah. So in Supernaturals, the two brothers when they go out, if someone questions who they are, they call up this one guy who is sitting in front of screens and he has different phones with him and he helps them out, and he sort of plays like the a fake role for them to get into the situation so they can investigate.
Okay.
Right? The actor who plays him is also in The Boys.
Oh, I
so
didn't
they
know
got
that.
two Supernatural alumni
I did not know that.
in
okay.
The Boys. And in the comics, the one that pops the head is actually a man.
Okay.
Oh,
Becomes president of the United States, and then Homelander turns on him, rips his head off. Now, in this show, it's a female who's helping Robert become president.
Okay.
So it could be that like she's helping him, and then she kills him off. She becomes president.
Oh
You know?
yeah, maybe she sets it up where like I'll help you,
But
but,
that
you
would
gotta
be
make
too
me your
obvious.
vice
Like
president.
I don't want to be like.
so
one of the,
I think I completely maybe imagined the conversation we had. I thought you told me that Starlight blinds her. That's what I
like
thought
permanently
happens.
blinds
no,
her.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, that wouldn't be
I said
bad, yeah.
That would make sense.
I
to
think
me.
that's how they could stop.
Newman. She's the head popper.
Yeah, how they could stop her and Homelander from stop Homelander from using laser eyes by blinding him temporarily.
Yeah.
Well, finally, Starlight makes herself useful.
Yeah,
she finds
well,
something.
it turns out unlike the comic books, in this one she can now fly if she
Okay.
absorbs enough energy. But
Wow.
it just seems like her power is the most useless
Yeah,
because
well,
like
It's
mean,
not. It's not the one that I would pick if I could.
no,
have
if
one.
I would pick Huey's power.
Definitely
The teleportation with super strength, super speed, super healing, like absolutely.
Even the super speed is a cool power.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you don't need
if
a
you
car
can
then.
run fast, then you can hit hard.
Yeah.
As long as you're not gonna, as long as you have super strength, you're not gonna break your own hand or
Yeah.
anything. But if you run really fast, then
Yeah.
force times or what is it? Speed times mass equals force or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
so yeah, the faster you're moving, the more
They
force
have
you're gonna generate.
They have a YouTube channel called Because of Science.
Okay.
I love watching
Dude,
that
shit
show.
like that is always
I
fascinating.
love watching that show because basically this guy named Kyle, he basically says why you wouldn't want certain superpowers.
Yeah.
And one of them is super speed. And he talks about, well, if you were only going 100 miles an hour, that would be okay. But he goes, once you start reaching light speed, like the real Flash.
Like the Flash,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Like the real Flash.
Gross.
He goes, if any fly hits you, or any spark of matter hits you,
It's gonna mess you
be
up.
a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it would be useless because imagine running through the countryside, you get hit by a fly and boom,
Boom. Yeah.
a nuclear explosion in the middle of America.
It's hilarious.
You know? So I was like, oh wow. And they talked about how you wouldn't want flight because you would have to call up the aviation towers
like the
every
FAA.
day
Yeah.
and find out where these planes are because you could go straight up and get hit by a plane.
Yeah. There's tons of planes in the air.
You
There's
know?
more planes than you think are in the air.
Yeah.
Might hit a
Yeah.
pigeon too.
Now
What?
Might hit a pigeon.
You might hit a
Yeah.
pigeon. You might. He goes with flight. The only thing you'd be able to do is fly like maybe 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
To your destination.
Mhm.
That's it. You wouldn't be able to go all the way up because there's too many things up there.
Yeah.
You know. But oh man,
Now-
some of those things are great.
What do you guys are thinking for next season? Like, do you have any ideas of what might happen? What you want to see happen?
I think they're gonna hold Soldier Boy as a backup.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
Noir's gonna come back.
I think Noir's coming back too.
And he's gonna join the boys, and they're all gonna team up to try to take out Homelander, because I think Homelander is going to, he's gonna lose his shit.
Yeah. And he's
I think
constantly
he's-
pushing people away.
Yeah,
like
he's,
nobody's
he's
on
gonna
his
get to a
team
point where
really.
he's gonna be like, oh, I could kill this one guy that threw a can of soda at my son.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And Stan Edgar's
They
not
take
going to
a-
hold
a
him
step
like on a
further.
leash anymore. Stan Edgar's out of the picture. That means nobody controls Homelander.
I think
So-
he has a plan. I don't see
Maybe,
I don't
but-
see a CEO of a superhero company, well, a pharmaceutical company, with that much charisma and that much like you don't scare me at all, to basically walk away and not have backup plan.
Yeah.
Well, he might have a backup plan, but nobody can at this point. Like Homelander's like a top dog. Like he's not. He doesn't have anyone to be afraid of.
He's in
so
control of the Seven. He's
he
in
can kill
control of
someone,
Vought.
yeah.
He's the top dog right
and
now.
he has
Yeah.
a son, and he has people who love him. So it's a victory for him in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like Christian, and I don't mean to cut you off because I think
no,
you're
go
still
ahead.
giving predictions. But like you said, they have to keep Soldier Boy as a backup.
Now, let me
plan.
ask you a question. I didn't get this. When did Maeve start dating Butcher? Did I miss an episode?
No, they had sex once.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
They
they're actually
did?
dating. I think
Yeah.
they're just banging.
I thought he hated Supes.
he does, but there was
But
something.
she hates herself, so she
Yeah.
went along with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's-
How did they meet?
She's helping them. She's
she gave him
helping
10
the
V.
boys.
She's the one who gave him the 10 V in the
No,
first
yeah, I
episode.
understand that, but like, did I miss an episode where she was like, "Listen, I'm going to help you out"?
No, they it's sort of like one of those situations where they argue yet they agree. Like he offers her liquor and she's like, I've been sober, but then he insists, so she drinks it, and
Yeah.
then they start. He sort of puts her down, say like you're all scum, like none of you are different, and then she's like, oh, if we're so bad, why you want to be one? And then they just start kissing and banging and
Oh yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it gives them a reason to have Homelander turn against her.
I
too.
really hope they explain the whole Homelander and Butcher's wife thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
They
of explain,
really
like,
need to explain
did he
that because-
rape her? Did she do it
Yes.
willingly? Like, what
Yes.
happened? Yeah.
Well, according to him in that episode with what's her name,
'Cause he
Madeline,
was-
he
he
said
said it was
willing.
he said she came on to him,
And it was a willing
she.
thing.
Oh, is
you
that
know,
what happened?
Yeah, he said she
That's what he
came
said,
3
yep.
times supposedly, but again, you can tell he's happy, like he wants to piss Butcher off and push him in the hitting the detonator, so you don't know if it's true or not. I kind of like the fact that it's open ended like that, like it's
like
a little
you don't know.
You
gotta-
don't know,
You gotta
yeah.
pick a side. Like
You got to pick a side. But then again, Becca does say in like a future episode that he did rape her. So I mean, who knows?
She said that.
She said that to
I think
Butcher.
so.
Yeah.
Oh.
She used the word rape. So
Oh.
who knows?
Well, in the comic book, Noir takes off his costume, and he's the clone of Homelander.
He is. He's Homelander. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why
yeah.
she probably thought it was him.
Well, yo.
You know,
But here's the
Oh,
thing.
it has to be that.
but they changed it up.
I was gonna say, but in the show,
Because
that's
now we know
not
what he
what it
looks like,
is.
yeah.
they
We know what
could
he
have
looks
went that
like
way
now.
if that's what it was, but Black Noir is not his clone. So
Yeah.
obviously that wasn't what happened. Like it was Homelander
It-
involved in
probably
whatever happened.
it probably is that he. You know, I would almost I would almost see them turning around saying, you know what, it was him. He is that much of an asshole.
Yeah.
He is that,
He's a psycho. He probably raped her, and he's
probably
probably like, she loved every second. He's probably like
Yeah.
one of those assholes. You know what I'm saying?
But it confuses me because there's a bunch of scenes where Homelander is talking to a crowd, and everyone turns around to look at what they're looking at. And Butcher doesn't turn around and stares at Homelander. And Homelander just stares at him like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think if you raped somebody's wife,
you would be like,
recognize oh shit, that's the husband?
But he's fucked up. He's done a lot of fucked up. Homelander. He's done a
No,
lot
but
of
he
fucked up
does
things to
know
people.
though. He remembers the face when they take the screenshot and show it to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
A-Train is the idiot who, when he saw Huey's face, he didn't remember him after killing his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I do think Homelander is more of a keen, intellect and instinct when it comes to that shit. But it was like 9 years ago, so it took him a few seconds to remember Butcher's face. But
So Dylan, what about you? What do you think?
so I'll go out on a limb and say that Black Noir's dead. Since everyone else agrees that he is, I might as well just try to make it interesting.
Is that what like the people on the computer and shit are saying?
Yeah, because I do like to read the but everybody, it seems to be wishful thinking because they like Black Noir. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys, but a lot of those
No,
people.
I liked him after I saw the cartoon.
Oh, when he started doing the cartoons thing,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just like me,
dude,
man.
this guy's awesome.
It's like there's an
This
innocence.
is great.
But I don't see any real reason to bring him back now. It seemed like it was the right end for him, unless the creators want to abide by the fans and just bring him back to please them. I don't really see the point. Like I said before, I don't know. He is the type who drinks the Kool-Aid. He does anything that Vought tells him. Soldier Boy even said that. And if Vought and Homelander are against him, I don't really see the point.
I don't think they have to. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
necessarily want to see him come back. It's just I kind of expect it to because knowing how the comic
Yeah.
books go, I almost expect him to come back. If he comes back or not, I think the show could easily keep going and not bring him back.
I think the only thing I think if they do bring him back, it might be with like a flashback or like some sort of different angle. Maybe we learn something about it, like something he was a part of. But I don't see any more reason to bring him back than bring.
Here it goes.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Any more reason to bring him back than Translucent from the first season? I just don't personally. I don't see it.
You don't necessarily have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can continue the
but
show easily without.
Again, like someone might they might prove me wrong, and I'll be the first to admit. Now, the thing with Butcher and his death sentence, obviously he has to take the blue stuff. That's what I predict because
He's definitely
he
going to
likes
take
the
the
powder.
blue stuff. And
I don't know about Frenchie and the rest of the crew, though.
Oh, their deaths?
No, I'm not sure that they're going to go on V because they seem to be against. Like
they do, but
well, in the show, are you sure about that though?
no, not. I'm not. I'm
in the
not sure
comics,
about
you're saying
in the
they do.
comic books.
Okay.
They do. Everyone does
And
because
you're
they realized they couldn't. They
can't-
couldn't beat these guys any other way.
Also, a big thing too. You said they swapped the backstory between MM and the Homelander with the milk thing.
Yeah.
Like, so that means MM may not have it in his veins.
In the show, he may
in the
not.
show,
Yeah, he
that's what
might
I mean.
not.
So
It would be interesting if they put it in him though, because you know how strongly against it he
Yeah.
is.
Well,
you know what I mean?
right.
Spoilers. Butcher goes psychopathic
And kills his team.
That
I kind of know.
I
yeah.
don't think they're gonna
That
go
I
with
didn't
that.
know.
Yeah, that's
Really?
in the comics. Yeah,
I
he
don't
goes
think they're gonna
nuts.
go with that on the show.
I don't think so either.
Because I think he's gonna attempt to do it, but I think because
Really?
If everyone takes V, I think they're gonna be able to escape it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
The comic really
Like,
is messed up.
It is.
man.
It is. It
Yeah.
so is. But
Wow.
hats off to the people that thought of it. Hats off to the people that did it. I'm not criticizing their storylines. I'm just saying, from a what if,
I like the way they did it. Like the
perspective.
pharmaceutical companies came up with this thing because if
Right.
anybody's going to do it, they have all the money in the
Yeah.
world.
Of course.
they have all the money in the world. So if anybody could do it, it would be them. And
Yeah.
I like the way they kind of monetize it. They control it, and I feel like it's just very realistic. Like this is what it would be like if you gave normal people superpowers.
Yeah.
They'd probably be dicks, kind of like these guys are.
Basically, the way I feel about it is they created an amazing storyline, an amazing comic.
Right.
And
Great adaptation too.
Great,
on the screen.
And then
You know?
the show did not do them dirty.
Absolutely.
The show just basically took it to a next level where you gave a shit about the characters so much that you want to read the comic books again.
Yeah.
You want to look into it and see what happens. Even though if the show doesn't go that route, you're still like, wow, that's such an interesting change to it.
Yeah. They still
know,
do a great job.
Yeah.
So I think Sure, I think Black Noir's dead. I think Butcher's going to turn full soup.
Yeah.
And I do think they're going to without a doubt, bring Soldier Boy back. They have to. I mean, and in fact, I think they're going to bring him back soon because he was good in the
he's
season.
He's a great character,
and
too,
he's a great
yeah.
character.
Oh my
so
God.
I don't think they could afford to.
I don't want to
Yeah.
pull a Last Jedi prediction and change the world the world timeline, because that's what happened with Star Wars, was that everyone was like, oh, Snoke is Plagueis and blah 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 blah. So everyone at Disney was like, oh no, we can't do that storyline now. Now we gotta just make Snoke a random clone, blah blah. Who are we gonna get as the main villain? I don't know. Let's get Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to pull that right now, but I have to say this because it just popped into my head. What if Soldier Boy joins up with Noir to take down Homelander?
Yo, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Because in my eyes, Noir was the one guy who he did have Homelander's back. He just didn't tell him about Soldier Boy being his father. But he had your back. He was the one guy on your team that you trusted. And
he wasn't supposed to tell Homelander. I mean, he was doing his job, what he was supposed to do, so he didn't do anything wrong.
But not in Homelander's eyes.
No,
in
not
Homelander's eyes, you weren't loyal to me. Your job is to be loyal to me. But like, that's one of the reasons I could picture them bringing him back, because he's going to be one of the reasons that Homelander ends up getting killed or whatever.
And I like how... throughout season 1, 2, Homelander talks to Noir like he can hear his thoughts.
Yeah.
And he goes, all of you, he's talking to the 7, he's like, the 6, he's like, all of you guys suck. You got to do this, you got to do this. And he goes, Noir? And Noir looks at him and goes, you stay cool, buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like this.
Yeah.
He's like,
I love the dynamic between them.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So that's
all right. That pretty much wraps it up. I think we got the predictions out. I mean, I looked through
When is the new season coming out?
I don't even know.
It's got to
yet.
be next year, I think, because there's no more
because
COVID
the season
delay.
3, the last episode just came out,
1 month ago, and that was something like I do wish I did this a little bit sooner, just because it has been a month now, and I want to do it like right after.
Rusty on it.
But I will say this much, like on social media and everything, the show is so popular now, and people are doing like all these funny like pictures, like and stuff, and it's still like popular enough to where I think people will still enjoy like people's interpretations and stuff.
I would love to see more Supernatural alumni join the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I don't really know. I don't know that
show.
I know the 2 main guys in that show, but I don't really know the rest of them.
But there was a show called Texas Walker.
Chuck Norris.
I heard of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
What,
right.
nuts?
Yeah.
Now imagine. Let me ask you a question. Would you still watch that if there was no martial arts in it?
I don't know.
That's what the new show is like.
Oh, the new Walker.
The new show is basically the one who plays Sam in Supernatural.
Okay.
Right? But there's no karate, no kung fu, nothing in it. So it's just basically him solving...
So he's a Texas Ranger. That's all it is.
He's just a Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
But you can't call it Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
If there's no... I mean, give this guy... I mean, look at Neo from The Matrix, right? The first one, you could tell that he's rusty. He's very stiff when he does his moves and stuff like that in the first movie. At the end of this, the third movie, you could see that they added a little bit more CGI because he's still a little stiff. But for whatever reason, Keanu Reeves, when he became John Wick...
Dude, he's a badass.
His skills went from 0 to 1,000,000.
Dude, look up the videos of him training. He is a badass.
Really?
He's a legit
pulls
badass.
Actually, that's Sambo in the movies. It's a Russian form of mixed martial arts, but he's an amazing fighter.
Dude, yeah, he knows. And his
You're telling me you can't do that? Come on, you. It's like me stepping into the role of Kung Fu, the Next Generation. That's what it was called, like Kung Fu Next Generation, something like that. And me stepping into the roles of Bruce Lee. And I don't know anymore. I don't know anything.
Yeah. You don't know how to fight.
I don't know anything. But the show is called Kung Fu.
Yeah. It's like calling the show MacGyver and not putting anything together. Like never building anything.
A lot of movies, like remakes and shit, do that anyway. Like the Ghostbusters remake and everything. It's like they can't just give it an alternate title because they just want to bank on the original name.
How
Yeah.
that movie would have worked out is if they said that those were the daughters of the original Ghostbusters. I would have been like, okay, it's
Oh,
not
you talk
fun.
about the girl one.
Yeah, the
I
girl
never
one.
even saw that one, to be honest with
the
you.
2016 one or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just talking about remakes in general, like where they take the same name, like Halloween.
yeah.
Also,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
there should be like a law to where you add like a next generation or some
Yeah.
sort of like subtitle, so it doesn't get confused with the original one, and that really drives me because it's an obvious attempt to like bank on
Definitely,
the original. Like
definitely.
like I said, I'm a horror movie fan. Like I hate it when they do that, like with Texas Chainsaw Massacre or whatever. It's like give it an
They
alternate
just
title,
had a new Scream come out,
a new screen, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Didn't they just have a new Scream
wow,
come out?
yeah.
I think it's a sequel though, isn't it? It's
I'm
like
not
Scream
100
5 or Scream
I think
6.
it's like Scream 5 or
That's what
something,
sucks
but
about,
yeah.
about the pandemic is that all the movies we're watching now came out in 2020.
Yeah, the one thing that definitely took a hit during
Like
the
Maverick
pandemic
was supposed to
the-
come out in 2020.
Yep.
John Wick was supposed to come out in 2020. Morbius was supposed to come out in 2020.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, we're getting all these movies. I mean, holy crap! They're coming out with Avatar.
Yeah, finally the second one.
15 years later.
Dude, that's crazy. You should have done that way
15
earlier.
years
Way earlier, you
later.
should have came out with that.
You know? Oh man, I'll be honest with you. I know this is off the subject, but I would love to see another Alita Battle Angel.
Yo,
Oh,
you
it's-
told me. I
it was
remember
so
you
good.
telling me about it
It's
and
so
telling me how
good,
good it
yeah.
was, and I still haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That
but-
was the anime one, like the computer graphic kind of one.
It's sort of like a world where everyone has cybernetics. It's sort of like playing. If you've ever played Cyberpunk 2077,
Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
it's
Yep.
like that world,
Okay.
you know, and you can do whatever you want to yourself as long as you can pay for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
some people go for praying mantis blades on their arms and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But what was crazy about that whole movie was that, and I'm sorry if this is off the subject, but
Let's go.
Disney came in and bought Fox, and in turn bought Alita. And then
Wow.
what happened was they were trying to promote Captain Marvel, you know, but everyone had a problem with the actress.
Yeah,
Because she said a lot of mean things to people that, you know, when you're making a movie, like that's why most of the actors, when you watch her like interviewed with other actors, they're all like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm here."
I remember you telling me about that. I've never seen any of the interviews or anything, but I remember
Oh.
you telling, and I remember other people telling me about her, like making comments about how like she hates men or something. And I don't even know if that's true.
Well,
I
it was more
apologize
like
for
she
you,
was
Lars, if you
trying.
didn't
She
say
was
that.
trying to say that I don't need white men to tell me what to think and all that other
Neither
stuff.
do I.
But it's like,
So,
wait a
you
minute.
know.
But
Take a step back. You're in a movie that you're trying to make for, you know, whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, you know, you don't go out and insult people.
Anybody who
You know what
might
I'm
go
saying?
watch your movie, you're not going to insult anybody. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what demographic they're from. You don't
Right.
insult people if
I
you're
don't
trying
wanna-
to get them to see a movie.
I don't want to interrupt, but just real funny. I love
Oh,
the part
God.
they just played with. When Soldier Boy bitch slaps Huey, and he's like, you think Huey's about to give this big speech on like, you know, why he's a hypocrite? They just
Yeah.
punched him in the
Is
face.
that after he smashed the dude when he's out the woods?
When they're
he
going
smashes
after-
No,
the-
but
they're going after
he
him.
shot the priest and the
Yeah.
and the
And
nun.
it's just such a funny scene. Like
and he's like, they
watching-
were about to turn
Yeah.
on us, and he was right?
Yeah.
that was like a great horror. All right, so I think that just about wraps everything up. Thank you for coming on, guys. I think this was
problem.
a great,
Dude,
fun
anytime,
time.
man.
We
This was
definitely,
good, man.
yeah, we
I
should do it
enjoyed
again.
this.
And you know, and to anybody who's listening, you know, if you want to hear more of us, then let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and maybe we'll do some more subjects in the future, and give us some recommendations too. You know, if there's something you want to hear or see, you know, we're pretty
Let
much
us
flexible.
know. I got a
would
lot of free
love
time.
to talk about Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. All right.
Man, I'll sit down and rewatch that movie.
I would.
Kurt Russell
I would
kicking
love
ass.
to like talk about that.
Do you
movie.
remember that movie, D?
I didn't see it actually.
Oh,
Yo,
No, I need to
definitely.
catch up on
It's
it.
an older movie,
Oh
but
my
it's one of
God.
those like cult classics. Good movie.
Oh my god, it's so great because my personality is totally Jack Burton
That's
and his
hysterical.
best friend, you know,
Don't
Wayne.
Well, don't spoil it too much because
Okay.
I gotta check it out.
All
man.
right.
But thanks for listening, guys, and thank you, Adam and Christian, for being on the show.
Thank you, D.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Dylan.
Have a good one.